Yo,
Yo.
what's up? How's everybody doing? Shout out to everybody in the chat already. What's up, Brad? How you doing, man? But yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on one of these, dude. I'm actually really excited, but not just excited because I'm on here, but excited because there's actually good, fun news to talk about for once. There's also some not so fun news, but we're gonna focus on the fun stuff for the most part.
Sure, we'll start there.
What's up, Darth Weavin? Weavin? Weavin?
Weapon.
Weavin?
We've been.
What's up, man? What's up, Matt? Thank you for being here. Python. Shout out to everybody in the chat already. I appreciate y'all for being here. X-Wing will be coming soon.
Yeah, I'm sure he's inbound shortly. He dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, yeah, some stuff. Technical difficulties. What's up,
Yeah,
CB?
we'll call it that. We'll call it that.
Well, yeah. Well, since X-Wing probably doesn't want to talk about this, let's start off with the Kathleen Kennedy contract talk, and then we'll talk about some more fun stuff later on. So just to fill everybody in, I did a video earlier on today, and we're closing in on the date that Kathleen Kennedy's contract is supposed to end. I think it's October 30th or 31st. I'm pretty sure it's the 30th. It's supposed to end. And last time this happened, they announced the renewal around 9 or 10 days before the date came up. And it's only like, what, 4 days before the date. I just think that's pretty odd. And then around, a couple of days ago, around the same time that she's supposed to get renewed or the contract is supposed to end, Indiana Jones 5 got delayed an entire year. And there was a lot of stuff with that production that went wrong previously that could have warranted a year long delay. Like Harrison Ford got hurt multiple times or injured multiple times, and there was no year long delay. There was small delays here and there, but a year long delay, that's like something is going on. I don't know, man.
I mean, they did the same thing with Kenobi. They got a bunch of stuff in the can. They shot a bunch of stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, this sucks," and they went back to the
Yeah.
drawing board and started over. I mean, yeah, it's not probably. I mean, who knows? Somebody could have got hurt. They could be, like I said, they could be looking at dailies and realizing they're not happy with something and making changes. Um, so yeah, I really, I mean, they literally did the same thing with Kenobi. Like, oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna release it here, and then like, oh, psych, we'll give it to you in 2 years. Like, it's not gonna be ready.
Did they even? I don't think they shot anything for Kenobi right the first time.
I think they shot some early stuff and were just like, what is going on here? And then they went back to the drawing board, even if it was just like pre-production, like, photos and stuff just to get an idea. They were just somebody wasn't happy.
I think that was the Kenobi series getting delayed, or I guess it was originally supposed to be a trilogy getting delayed the first time. I think that was a signal, like a sign of a huge change at Lucasfilm, because it seems like ever since then, the content, not only like the content that we're actually getting, but content like selection, like the selection of shows that they've chosen to give us has been so much better. And
well, I mean, as far as Lucasfilms is concerned, their slate was big 2 years ago. I mean, Kenobi's been in the works for several years. And I think Mandalorian just gave new life, just breathed new life into the Star Wars franchise. It was, people will joust with the idea of where did the divide in the fandom start. Some people say, oh, the sequels, it was The Last Jedi, that's what did it. But then, I look back and I saw a lot of divisiveness with the prequels. So I think it's been like this since the growth of the franchise in the 90s. So for me, I kind of see that's where the device started to happen, and then the splinter got worse with The Last Jedi. But it seems like since Mandalorian, this first season, I'll go back, even the first episode, I think more things started getting greenlit as
yeah,
they started diving into what they wanted to do. Because Favreau and Filoni already had an idea that, okay, we want Luke to come back at some point. So we took him the first season and said, hey, are you interested in doing this? So I think there's a grand plan, much like Feige does with Marvel. I think we're getting more of that Marvel intelligence in Star Wars because Favreau came over from Marvel and helped them build their infrastructure. So I think stealing him from Marvel and Dave saying, "Hey man, you did a bunch of voiceover work. That was a lot of fun. Why don't you come over and help me produce the next generation of Star Wars?" And I think that's really what breathed new life into a franchise that was on the ropes.
It's almost like the success of The Mandalorian, even just season 1, even though it wasn't as huge as season 2, the finale made it like a worldwide phenomenon, but it was still pretty big with Grogu and stuff.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
almost seemed like the success of that season gave them like a new confidence, like in the because then they started giving us Hayden and stuff like that. It was like, okay, let's actually start listening to these fans and give them what they want, because it seems like that's the formula, and they
Well,
just
and
started giving it to us.
I think it was, I think, it was, I think this has been Dave's plan since he took over as a storyteller, not just an animator, right? So, when somebody's computer's having fun.
Sorry.
So when
Good.
when Dave started becoming more involved with story, specifically with Rebels more than anything, and was really handed the reins as an executive director, you saw a change in the planning stages. Like the chess pieces he's moved around the table have been so strategically well done that it's leaving us with I just watched the finale for Rebels today. I just watched some of my favorite bits of Rebels, just trying to get back into, everybody with the Hayden news and the Christian stuff, or the Hayden and Ahsoka stuff. And
I was trying not to laugh.
News.
but yeah,
Christian stuff.
I just feel like there was this game plan way ahead of time, and he brought Favreau in with his idea, and that was the first little pebble that really said, "Hey, let's make all this live action stuff."
Yeah. What's up, X-Wing? How you doing, man?
What's up? Sorry, I was late. Dog got
No,
sick everywhere.
It's all good, dude.
Bad, bro. What's up, Obsession? How you doing, brother?
What up, dog?
What up?
Poop Monster 4000, huh?
Oh my God, bro. Hershey Highway, 100%.
Yeah.
Poor little bugger.
When Disney and Lucasfilm Limited started bad-mouthing the fans, then using the Hollywood press to discredit, demean, and label longtime fans, was then the fissure happened. Well,
no, you got to go back
than that.
You got to go back to, you go back to episode 1 before this stuff existed. Like go way back before Twitter, way back before Facebook, even before MySpace, right? This was in 1999.
Shit.
Right? Like this was the beginning of the prequels in 99, and George got hate for that. Right? As great as it was, he got hate for Jar Jar, which caused him to alter his script and design for what was coming for the future. So like really, you can't really say that the sequels are Disney, because Disney wasn't even in the picture, as large controlling. George was still in control. So like you really can't compare the two. The fissures were started way back when. They may have been little cracks, but they started a long time ago.
I love little cracks. Justin, I just sent you an article on Twitter there, from what I was kind of talking about, where like people are mad that Hayden's coming back, which is
so stupid.
I mean, it's Twitter, it's a cesspool. You kind of expect this stuff anyways, but I mean, man, I'm not one to threaten violence, but I'm about to go beat somebody.
Okay, well then you're gonna get mad, girl, because I'm not really into it. You're about to say get sad.
You don't want Hayden back?
I want Hayden back in Kenobi. I want Hayden back in certain pieces. I don't want Hayden to do what Vader does to every movie he's in and monopolize the time. Right? Like once Vader sets foot on a show, it's when's Vader coming back? When's Vader coming back? Right? And
What did he say?
and so for me, like I don't want to see too much of it in Ahsoka. I want to see brief moments. I don't want to be the Anakin and Ahsoka show, right? There's so much more storytelling I want them to give us, but if there's a brief moment where they have a moment, cool.
There's no chance it'll be the Hayden or the Anakin and Ahsoka show. It would be like
back to that first tweet though. Look at the first one.
Dude, this is so stupid.
Plot is already wafer thin.
What plot?
How do you know what the plot is, bro?
What are you talking about, dude?
I mean, I'm pumped that he's coming back.
One of the writers, he's like, I'm so mad they made me do this.
I'm super pumped that Hayden's coming back at all. Like, I love I love the love that he's getting in the world right now because he got so shit on
Yeah.
for Return of the Jedi that was so brilliantly done. And he got shit on for it. So I love that he's getting the love that he deserves.
Even if he's not the greatest actor in the world, like in my opinion, he was a very good Anakin, and he's. I can't see a world where he's not Anakin. You know,
Bro,
Dude,
he was
Hayden
Anakin.
Christensen was wooden in the prequels, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
I don't know if they were trying to recreate that with Rey, but she was wooden, and it doesn't work for that actor. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and it doesn't work for that character either. Like that, like Anakin played stiff because he knew, like he watched James Earl Jones do Anakin's voice and listened to it over and over and over and over again until he was speaking that way on set, right? Like, because he knew you're going to get in the suit and it can't be a different vernacular, right? Like it can't be, you have to do the same timing. It was brilliantly done and brilliantly directed, right? Like really methodically gone over to make sure everything worked. And
you know what I want to see, dude? I want to see them do all of Anakin's lines, but redo them as the James Earl Jones voice and see if it sounds like Vader then.
I think you could.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it would be balls on. I think it would be balls on.
If you really like, the first time that I heard that he actually went back and studied how Vader talked in the original trilogy, and you go back and watch how he acted in the prequels, it really does sound similar. Obviously, it's like different tones, but it sounds similar. Like the inflections in his voice and how he says "master." Everybody thought that was so stupid, and they clowned on him for the way he said "master," but he says it like Vader would say it.
But especially once he turns, right? Like once he turns, it's like a switch goes off, almost like he talks about, like, I destroyed that person. That person's gone. And when he becomes Vader, it drastically changes, right? Like
Buzz on, buzz off.
Balls on. Yeah, I mean that's
canceled for that one.
Yeah. that's a known statement in construction. Balls on, dead accurate. If you want to look it up, go back to my girl Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny. That's where I get that from. Some of you kids may have to go into the archives of VHS for that, but yeah, I mean, Anakin was he played it brilliant. Oh, he was so whiny. No, dude, he was troubled. Like he was deeply psychologically troubled.
Oh man.
Yeah, I want to see him back, but I don't like the hate that Hayden has gotten over the decades.
Yeah, me neither. Or Ahmad Best. Like I would do anything to go have a beer with Ahmad Best.
Yeah.
I tried
like
to get him too.
He's doing that show, right? They even gave him a second chance. He's doing that like game show or whatever, a reality show.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, he's back. He's playing like a Jedi master and it's a
yeah, I did hear about that.
What?
Yeah, it's some sort of game show where little kids come and play like Jedis and he's the master or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a second chance, bro.
I mean, he just being involved in the Star Wars world again. Honestly, dude, respect to Hayden for even wanting to come back after everything that
That's kind of where I'm at, dude. Yeah, like good for you for getting back in the saddle after all that. But you know, the thing is, like, he goes to fan conventions and stuff like that. He knows how much people love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, dude, don't pay attention to Twitter.
He's probably like, where the hell were all of you whenever I was getting shit on social media?
And that's it, is like, where were all of you when I was getting shit on, as you know? And now he gets the love. Now people see the behind the scenes and they get so much more content with the books and the interviews and all this stuff. It gives them a new respect for him when they see how George was directing him and how he went back home every night and listened to Vader talk in the prequels. Like, I'm sure he'd had a recorder of just lines that he was listening to in his trailer at night to prepare for the next day. Yeah. So, I mean, hats off to him, man. He deserves the respect. He deserves all the praise. And if people don't like that he's coming back, you know what?
It sucks to suck.
Go watch Marvel. That's all I got to say.
All right.
Go watch the Marvel.
I can't drop this mic, but
here.
Justin's like, why did I invite these guys?
Right. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but I think it was today that they dropped this, where they have some new character descriptions for the Ahsoka show.
Okay.
The Illuminati is pretty dead on with their reports too. So we have Riz or Reese. I don't know how you would pronounce this. Can y'all even see that? It's probably super small.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a little pixelated.
There you go. Bingo.
All right. Reese, described as a bit of a lone wolf, world-wise despite his young age and able to handle anything life throws his way. This character is listed as a series regular with options. It says uncover some more exciting news about Ahsoka with a new character description. According to our sources, the series is looking to cast a man in his 20s to play another lead character named Reese.
I'm in. I'll do it.
Gotta be Riz.
Cast me up, coach.
I don't know. I guess Riz. I don't know.
I'm not that far from my mid-20s. Can I do it?
She met a lot of random people on her travels. So, like, you know, it's kind of, I mean, at least it's not the Martell sisters. You guys should be pumped about that.
Those don't look like birds, dude, in that concept art or whatever that is. Those look like P-51 Mustangs. Like, oh my God, it's the Jets.
Those look like loath bats. Those look like the loath bats.
I think this is just a fan-made thumbnail, honestly.
Honestly, those look like the loath bats they flew in.
I think they look like Jap Zeros coming down on December 7th, man. I'm a little worried about the Empire of the Rising Sun when I see
you what.
Okay, it also says they announced recently that Hayden Christensen will be reprising his role as Anakin, aka Darth Vader, and Ahsoka. Anakin was her teacher while in Jedi Order, and the two became close friends. Blah, blah, blah. The student faced off against her former teacher. We at the Illuminati also revealed that Ahsoka was casting for Barrett. I thought they had some Hayden news in here, man.
There's a related article where you can read more of the same stuff that has nothing to do
just
with
recapping Hayden's history in the Star Wars universe. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I expect to see several of the Ghost crew possibly on this show. I definitely expect to see Sabine. You know, possibly we might run into a Hera to give us a live action Hera.
Right there.
Yeah, I kind of expect to see I would love to see a Zeb. Like, I think that would be
Zeb would be nuts.
That would be so dope.
It'd be another Dave Bautista.
Yeah, I don't think he would be that yoked. I would prefer somebody like lankier, like, you know.
It would be cool to see kind of the Mandalorian style where he went around and just picked up comrades to go fight a big bad at the end, but they do it with like the Ghost crew. People from Rebels.
Yeah, people are gonna be mad though. It's gonna be another like video game show. You must go here to pick up this person. You must go here to pick up this person.
It is a little repetitive. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think they're gonna do that so much with this. I think this might be to start with anyway. Like, they might pick up random people here and there, but I think for the most part, I think it's gonna be the Ahsoka Sabine duo. I think that's what it is, because those are the two people that Ezra.
I wouldn't be mad at that. That'd be cool.
Like, I think we're gonna get.
I'm not even a huge fan of Sabine, bro.
Oh God, I am. She's fucking baller.
I don't feel too strongly either way. I would like to see her in live action.
It's like another pissed off 16-year-old girl. And it's like painting her shit different colors. I have purple hair. I'm different. Okay, understand that I'm different.
But she's Mandalorian. Like, you never see a rebel Mandalorian. You never just see like, oh well, Boba Fett and like
Mandalorians are like super into like
they're super clicky. They're clicky people. She's definitely like an outsider aside from Boba, because he was with Jango and like that doesn't count. But like Mandalorians tend to stick together, right? And that's one thing I think we're going to see more in Mandalorian, is that resurgence of that vibe.
I think Mandos used to stick together.
That's what I'm saying. But in her time, in Sabine's time, Mandalorian stuck together because they were still around until after the Empire, you know? So I think in that regard, I think we're just going to see her and Sabine, or Sabine and Ahsoka, looking for clues on how to find Ezra, right? And I think we might get some of that Ezra Thrawn on the other side of it, trying to find their way back or whatever they're doing together.
Mando together, strong.
What if Ezra's just like fully bought into the Thrawn way of thinking, and he's just like, get away from me, Ahsoka. I don't want anything to do with you.
I like that more than like, oh my God, Ahsoka. Oh, Ezra. Oh, and they hug. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, I think that's where I want them to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he already had a propensity to the dark side anyway, right? Like, he was already, he already liked the power, you know. I mean, but
it was like that scene in the sequels when Luke's or Jake is touching her with the feather or whatever. He's like, you went straight to the dark.
Jake.
Ezra is the same age as Luke, right?
Actually,
Like a
Is he?
day difference or something
he's
like that.
older. He's older, but they were all supposedly on Empire Day. Yeah, Ezra was born on Empire Day, and then supposedly Luke and Leia were like a day later on the asteroid. But I wrap it into one day, all the same day.
Okay, so we would see a pretty grown up Ezra then, right?
If somebody else wrapped it, we wouldn't have gotten Sabine. So you can only hope for certain things. Did you see what Brad Simpson said?
What, screw Star Wars or something like that?
What did he say?
Hey, dude, I can't wait for Cobra Kai season 4 either.
I'm
I haven't
into.
watched any of it yet.
I've been
it's
saying, well,
so
cover
good.
your ears. Anybody that doesn't want spoiler alerts, but I've been saying it since episode 1 that Bad Boy and Terry Silver are coming. So
Dwight Paladin Graham's in here.
yeah, bro, I want both of them back in the mix. Like all the old bad guys, I want it all. Yes, so Cobra Kai, yes, bring it. But if you say that about my Star Wars again, Brad, that's not cool.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna write a very heated Twitter.
Go
message.
ahead, threaten him.
I'm gonna complain. I'm gonna complain a lot. Okay.
Ugh.
When do y'all think we're gonna get a Book of Boba Fett trailer? We're almost.
don't
We're
need
less
it.
than 2 months away, right?
I don't need it.
It's on the Boba Day or the Disney Plus Day. I think that's when we'll get
The
it.
14th.
When is that? Like November? That's almost a month away from the release of the show. That's so close to get a first trailer.
I don't need it.
Dude, look at how much exposure they're getting without giving us stuff.
Yeah, I don't need
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it seems to be the new model now for the streaming service releases. Just don't
Great.
advertise your
Give you
show until
nothing.
right before. Yeah.
I won't watch a trailer anyway. I won't. They
I
give
will.
the best stuff away in the trailers. What's the point of watching the show? They give the best
Dude,
meat away
they
in the
didn't
trailer.
give anything away in the Mando season 2 trailer.
That's what
Remember
I'm gonna say. If there's like no content, then just
we all
release the
thought
trailer.
that what's her name? Sasha Banks was who do we think she was? I forgot.
No, everybody thought she was Sabine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
Sabine.
thought she was
That's
Sabine.
not Sabine, but
She ended up being no one. Not
yeah,
even coming back.
filler.
You
But
know, your parents are dead in a pauper's grave on Jakku.
Dude, I don't know.
you are
I'm a fan of
feisty
trailers.
today.
I like the hype, and I like watching reaction videos and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I watch.
man, I'm all about it. I mean, it's fun because like the hardcore fans like us, we still sit here and we talk and we talk and we talk about things. Oh my God, could you imagine if Mace Windu showed up? Oh,
Now, if they revealed that in the trailer, that would be different. But if they're just
Yeah,
showing
but that's-
random
that's reason-
characters,
Could you imagine if they showed a green saber for a trailer, Mando season 2?
dude, that would have been
Ruin it.
horrible.
It would
That would've
ruin
been
it.
horrible.
well,
That
yeah,
kinda spoiled it for me
they sh-
anyway. But
They should have done a blue saber anyway. They were trying to get Chloe in there, so I mean, it should have been a blue saber. It'd have been way baller.
Here's a question though. They already have the character model. We saw it during the what do you call it? The gallery. They clearly already have the Plo Koon model. We know Dave Filoni loves Plo Koon.
He's dead.
Are we going to get some flashbacks with Plo Koon and Ahsoka?
dude, we might get flashbacks with Plo Koon, Ahsoka, Ewan McGregor, and Hayden Christensen all together. We better get some sort of Clone Wars era flashback.
I don't think we're gonna get a Plo Koon flashback. I definitely think we're gonna get Kenobi flashback of Clone War, like in Clone War armor. I definitely think we'll probably get Ahsoka flashback, probably to Clone War era. Yeah, I could see a lot of flashback. There's a lot of room. Same thing with Boba. I want to see, like I said, either the first episode or the last episode. I want to see Boba rubbing his helmet, sitting on the throne. And
Whoa,
flashback
bro,
to
rubbing
Padme.
his what? What's going on, dude?
Rubbing his helmet, that dent you got right there behind you, bro.
I mean,
That
I do
dent.
too, but I don't rub it.
I want him to rub that dent, and I want a flashback of the Cad Bane.
The what?
What?
You're not making this any better.
The dent in his head, in his helmet. The
Chill,
dent.
bro.
The Cad Bane, the bolt mark. Come on, guys. Stop
Isn't
being a
that
bunch of
the
dirty
12 and
boys.
holders?
Look, you go and scoop some poop off the floor for 5 minutes, and your head is in the gutter.
Where
Come out
are
of the
you
gutter.
right now?
Oh man.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't want the show to be super heavy on flashbacks though. I want them to explain what has to be explained and then let's go to the future now. I
Well,
don't
dude,
want it
here's
to be
the thing though. You have to use those flashbacks to give weight to the conversation that you're having. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of flashbacks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to start with just like, oh, this happened.
Yeah. Just for the sake
No.
of it happening, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like Ahsoka talks to, you know, Ahsoka's talking to Luke, and she says something one off, like, yeah, you know what it reminds me of. If anybody's seen it, I don't remember if it was Hero Fan Productions or somebody else, but the Kenobi, where he flashes back every time he says something, he says he was a good friend, good star pilot, you know,
Yeah.
like all these different things, and it flashes back to a certain thing that pertains to what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. But if it's like something dumb, no, don't use a flashback.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think especially with Boba, if you don't see the Cad Bane duel, it's worthless. I need to see that. I need to see it. And
Is
this
that
is
going to make or break Boba for you?
I think so. Yeah. I think you got to show how he became the most feared man in the galaxy. I think if you don't show that, it doesn't really hold any weight. Right. Because that's how I look at it. It was yeah, buddy. Yeah, Jay. I got your money, sucker. Bring it.
Shout out to Fatal
Better
Joe.
have my
Jay is
dollar.
sucker.
Better sign that. Better sign that dollar. We got some 100-to-1 odds on this, so it's great stuff.
I'm walking out of this deal with money. 100%.
My 100 to their 1.
What was it? It was, does Kenobi break canon or something like
Yeah,
that?
it's just if it breaks it. Like if he hops off world to go fight some bullshit, that breaks it.
He's gonna hop off
But
world to fight some
But
bullshit.
if he hops off world with Luke or because of Luke, I'm still good. Right?
Or because that's the entirety of his existence.
No.
That was
It's
such
gotta
a
be-
bad bet, bro.
It's got to be like he's either got to stow away on a ship that they're traveling off world and goes to protect like he's supposed to. But if he just goes to fight some Inquisitors just because, like, I'm out. You can't leave the boy. That's my big part of the bet is you can't leave the boy.
You could do is leave the boy. Like, I don't give a
No.
fuck about that guy. I
Can't-
never seen him in my
can't
entire
leave the
life. What are you
boy.
talking about? I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. Chase me.
I don't,
So
yeah,
my big thing is I think Mace is going to show up in Kenobi. I think that's where the herring has been. I think everybody's expecting it in Boba.
Bro, was that
And
our
they're-
bet? It was
No,
Boba Mace.
No. Our bet was Kenobi breaking. But if you want to do a
that's right.
second one, I'm
Yeah.
down for that too. I'm always down for a little gambling. I'm from Nevada.
Yeah.
We got an addiction to gambling. I'm in.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to live on the street.
Oh,
Shit
yeah,
is
Jay,
dirty.
it's
I'm
all,
losing all my money on this.
Oh, bro, it's all show no go. Let's go. Like I'm all about it. So
Wait, what would be Mace's role in the Kenobi show?
I think he comes for Luke. I think he comes for the Skywalker. Like
To
that's
kill him?
like Mace goes dark.
Why?
So
what?
in my head, Mace shows up and him and Kenobi meet up on Tatooine. And Mace is coming specifically for Luke and to ask Kenobi, how can you defend the son of Skywalker after what he did to the Jedi Order and to
Get out of
me?
here, coach. Get out of here. This is not your kind of stream. You don't want to be here. You don't
Right,
want to be part of this, coach.
So yeah, that's my hook. I think they're baiting us with Boba because that would complete the circle and make a real easy, nice, tie it up in a bow. But I don't really ever think that Star Wars has ever given us what we expect. I think there's always a curveball or two. And I think that Mace coming for Luke feels more honest.
I mean, I
especially
came for
if he
Luke
goes
too.
dark, right?
In
Because
episode
for me,
16, I came for Luke big time. Dude, there's no way. Sorry.
Y'all gotta calm down. Y'all gotta calm down with that.
There is no way that they don't put him in Boba and they put him in for Kenobi. There's no way.
bro, it makes so much
Who is
more
he
sense.
more tied to?
It makes so much more sense for a Mace Windu to go dark because all of his light side friends are gone. So all of the
Dark and light.
what's that? Beg your pardon?
There's
Wait,
no
I'm-
way they.
I'm confused.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm confused on the motive though. Like, what is his why not go after Vader?
Why not? Why
There's
would
no
Boba
one
not
knows.
go after Mace, dude?
No one knows that Vader, like no one really knows Anakin's
Oh,
in
okay.
that suit.
Okay.
Not even Mace, because he chopped his hand off before he got in the suit and before he was given his name. Right. So Mace doesn't know. All he knows is
Obi
Anakin
knows.
Skywalker. Right. So Obi knows,
Right.
but Obi and him didn't talk. Right. So for me, what would be really awesome is if Mace goes dark side, right, and comes to Tatooine because he hears of a Skywalker, right? Next thing you know, who would Mace rather kill? Mace kill. He would rather go after a Skywalker than the meaningless Boba Fett that he's already said you're not worth my time.
He doesn't want to go after Boba Fett. Boba
Right.
Fett's going after him.
Right. I don't see that. I see it the other way. I see Mace coming back for vengeance.
Boba probably forgot about the whole thing. He's like, you know what? It was a long time ago.
But to him, he's dead. He's dead. To everybody, Mace Windu died at the temple. So for Boba, he's dead. Boba doesn't even know he's alive, if he's alive. That's what I'm saying.
The only way I could see this actually happening is if Mace Windu like turns to the dark side and wants revenge on the Skywalkers. Maybe he wants to restore the Jedi Order, and he thinks that the Skywalkers are the biggest threat to the Jedi Order, and he wants to kill Luke.
It's been 20 years. You're going to start now after 19 years. You're going to, hey, okay, I'm going to start the Order now. Like, everybody went into hiding. There were no Jedi around for all the years of the Empire. He's not just trolling around with his purple lightsaber doing justice, not getting hunted down by Inquisitors and Emperors and all of that. You know, it just feels a little thin for him to be trekking around with his purple lightsaber, right? He doesn't have a lightsaber because his lightsaber flew way off with his mitt.
He might have picked it up with his good hand.
Maybe he just landed on a little ledge right outside the window, and he heard the whole thing of Anakin getting knighted Vader and everything. So
He only fell like 10 feet.
Yeah.
He was totally fine.
Hey,
the 100 feet out didn't matter.
Listen to this.
There was 100-foot ledge that he just happened to land on outside the temple. Come on.
You never know.
Or I'm sure that room was bugged because they were definitely suspicious of Palpatine.
So in the novel, that room was bugged. And what Palpatine did was he basically cut the recording.
Didn't we see Obi-Wan watch?
Assassination attempt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Of course it was bugged because they watched the knighting of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
They watched him become Darth Vader. So, I mean, of course that room was bugged. I just bet you Palpatine had a little switch under the desk like old Harvey Weinstein that shut the door and turned off the cameras, you know?
Y'all are going crazy on this one. I know I've been going for a while, but
you missed it. But yeah, for me, it just makes more sense if Mace is Dark Mace, not surrounded by his light friends. And
I would like to see it.
And comes after Luke because
it just sounds so bad every time you say it, dude.
Really? You wouldn't want to see an Obi-Wan? You wouldn't want to see another scene in live action like Maul and Obi in the desert where Obi-Wan has to kill a friend of his to protect Luke? That's such good storytelling.
I don't want to see that because that would feel so weird because there's no bad blood between Mace and Obi-Wan.
His job is to protect the boy, regardless of who comes for him.
I just feel like Mace.
So what are we going to get another? He's too dangerous to be left alive.
It's literally like a 4-year-old.
I think it's you can't let you. That's the son of Skywalker. End of story.
That's
baby. The son of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I could see him hunting him down, or maybe, and then realizing that Kenobi's watching over him, and that gives him a change of heart or something. Because I just don't see them fighting each other. I think both of them are too. They were friends for too long. Not friends, but working towards the same goal for too long.
10 years in the desert does a lot to people, and 10 years in PTSD, 10 years of PTSD does a lot to people. You know, and that's what I want to see. I want to see that kind of story. I don't want the cookie cutter Star Wars story where it's all puppy dogs and ice cream. I want them to get.
What Star Wars have you watched that is puppy dogs and ice cream?
Oh, come on. You guys got everything you wanted in Mando. Everybody got every piece of what they wanted in Mandalorian.
There were hundreds of people murdered and killed in Mandalorian. That is not puppy dogs and ice cream.
Everything you wanted. I want to see meat and potatoes emotional breakage, right? I want to see Kenobi have to go through what makes him old. You have to give me a reason why he's old.
In the words of Din Djarin, why not both?
I think what makes him old is the trauma.
That's what I'm saying. But you have to show more. It can't just be, oh, we lost. Now I'm gonna age 7 times faster than everybody else in the galaxy, right? Yeah. I need to see why. I want to see him get shocked with Force lightning by Mace Windu, and age a little bit. I want to see something that tells us why he turned 150 years old.
Well, dude,
while
Obsession, look at it this way. You're 22, I'm 14. Look at how the desert ages people. You know what I mean? It's just
I agree. I agree. I'm just saying,
2 sons. So
you have to give me a reason why he went from a young, vibrant man, and in 19 years, he is a 70-year-old crumbly man, right? Like, this is the guy who fought Vader toe to toe, and then over 20 years, he just turns into this frail old man. I need to know why. We need some context to why.
Massive
Otherwise,
emotional trauma, extreme harsh environment, and massive quantities of drinking. Basically, like living on a desert planet. Those 4 reasons are the reason why I look the way I do at 30.
yeah.
also,
You know what I'm
Ewan
saying?
McGregor was a perfect casting choice, and he just wasn't the right age. That's why.
Well, I mean, you
He's
know,
there now, though.
Alec Guinness is, I mean, he's not going to look like Alec without a bunch of makeup, right? And a bunch of prosthetic stuff. So they have to explain that, right? Whether it's an Inquisitor.
This show just
Or
like
it could just be
gray
an
the
understood
beard up,
thing.
you know, gray the stuff up, and maybe like a little bit of Camoosh or whatever his name is. What's his name?
I have no idea.
Kersloosh.
I don't even know what you're talking about, man.
The
Are you
deepfake
are
guy.
you speaking English? Did the son?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know his name either. But the guy that they just hired, yeah.
It's just gonna there has to be more storytelling than Obi sitting in the desert. That's what I'm saying. You need more depth, and what better depth than to create a fun new story with an old character instead of Mace just showing up being the good guy, right? Like, I just think it's better to create something new. Force stress.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh,
yeah,
I need a
Shamuk.
face mask right now. My
Shamook.
force stress is just like
My force stress.
Shamook. There we go. Felicity. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I feel like there's no way to really. I know a lot of people will get mad at this, but I would be totally fine if we just went with an understanding for the rest of time on why Alec Guinness is that old and why Ewan McGregor wasn't that old whenever he was in the prequels. I think we all understand why it really is, and I think I would be fine if they just never really explained it. But if they could, that would be tremendous. If they could just close that.
Only 8 hours of content to explain some stuff.
But I don't want to see 8 hours of that. I want to see 8 hours of cool stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see 8 hours of him sitting around with binoculars on a banta. Oh, is Luke okay?
I was
Okay.
surprised at it, and you still got it wrong.
Is Luke okay?
I'm Banta.
You know, I don't want to
Yeah,
see. I don't want to see it. I want to see something. I don't want to see him negotiating with sand people or fighting off sand people every episode. You got to give me something more.
Yeah,
And I think they are. I think they're prepping for some awesome stuff, and I think Disney does nothing better than rope-a-dope. Here, look over here. This is a shiny object, and then they show
Look at
you
this good thing. By the way, it's shitty.
Luke Skywalker. Bam, comes out of left field for you. Oh, we have a season finale. Oh, who shows up? Right? Like, you guys didn't see that coming. You're not going to see this coming.
Yeah, what's up, Daryl? How you doing, man?
Because if he shows up in Boba, it's too easy. It's just too easy. I'm hunting somebody I didn't even know was alive.
They always do. They do these like pocket tricks,
Boring.
and like one thing I'm worried about is like we know Din Djarin can like, and somehow fucking speak
Sand
people, and I'm worried that they're gonna work that into like Kenobi. You know what I mean? Like Din Djarin's gonna be walking through, and you'd be like, "Hello there." And you don't know how to speak sound people, do you? Well, let me teach you.
2 different timelines, but you know, that's cool. Except it's 2 completely different timelines. That's cool. It's only 30 years in the future. No,
I
big
think what I'm saying though, you know, like
I don't think it's going to happen
like that.
I think there's going to be more like of him fighting off sand people, and you're going to see the relationship with Owen breaking and getting worse. And that's what I'm saying.
I'm interested in that.
If they show, this is what I'm talking about. If they show Luke and Owen having to go buy new moisture evaporators from off world, and they're taking a public transit, I could see Kenobi stowing away on that ship, following Luke off world, right? Like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. If they have to go off world to do something, I anticipate just like he stowed away on Padme's ship, I could see him doing the same thing. And then Owen finding him off world and be like, stop following us. I told you to leave this family, right? Like that's
the legit creepy uncle. Like, bro,
Yeah,
you gotta
like-
stop. You gotta stop doing this.
like, hey, we don't want him involved in your witchcraft and wizardry, right? Like we need him to be a normal boy.
I contacted the Empire. I have a restraining order. Please stay away from my child.
I would like to see maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the trauma stuff, and then 1 or 2 episodes, or in those 1 or 2 episodes, talk about the relationship with him and Owen, stuff like that. But then I want to see him off world fighting Inquisitors and stuff like that. Whether or not that has to do with him following Luke off world, I really don't care. I really just don't care, man. Just show me some
Luke
cool
ain't going
Obi-Wan
anywhere,
stuff.
bro.
Wait, what?
All he knows is the sands of Tatooine.
Dude, he's leaving.
No, I mean,
Yeah, when he's an adult and Ben Kenobi's like, it's time for you to be a grown man.
Oh, you mean Luke? You mean Luke's not leaving?
Yeah, Luke's not leaving.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
Kenobi's
Obi-Wan's
for
not leaving.
sure leaving.
Yeah,
100%. I'll put another $1 on that wall.
not without the
We can
boy.
double down right now.
He
He
was given a
leaving
mission.
Tatooine.
He was given a mission, and Luke is his mission. That's it. He feels the problems in the world, in the galaxy, and he tells Ezra, "This is where I belong. This is where I have to be." Right? That's it. They came to him. They begged him to get involved, and he wouldn't, knowing that he could have probably helped and changed things. But that boy is the future. That's the new hope. That's what I told you guys to wait for. I can't leave his sight. End of it.
I feel like we're going to get a cheesy line at the end of this frickin' series, and Kenobi's going to say it. That boy, he's our new hope. And we'd be like,
No.
nobody
no,
asked for that.
No.
Why did you do it?
Maybe our last hope. You can
Yeah.
say that.
That boy. That boy.
And
Yeah,
Yoda
I
walks
can
in,
see.
he's like, no, there is another.
But I do want to see. I do want to see him. Training with Qui-Gon. I want to see that stuff. That's important to the series. That's important to what's going on. We need to have a Qui-Gon conversation. Whether it's in the desert in the middle of the night during meditation, whatever it is, he needs to start. They need to show us the training that goes into becoming one, and then he's there to protect Luke. I hope we don't see, I hope we don't see any Ahsoka, because I think they would have done that in Rebels if they were going to do that. So I feel like I really don't want to see that
I don't want to see Ben and Ahsoka speak.
at all, and I really don't care. I don't want to see Luke and Ahsoka meet up until the Mandalorian War. For me, like, I really would rather them meet at the end, when he comes out with Grogu and Ben Solo to be the big heroes at the end of the big cinematic release. Like, I think
At
that
first, I had really wanted Luke and Ahsoka to meet because I wanted because I
Sorry, you
wanted
said Ben Solo, and
because I wanted Luke to tell Ahsoka that Anakin got redeemed and all. But now that Hayden's gonna be in the Ahsoka show, I'm sure he's gonna tell her himself. So we don't really need the Luke Ahsoka meeting.
I can't tell if that it's my belief that she felt Vader die. So I kind of feel like that's when she comes out of the woodwork after Vader's dead to start looking for Ezra, because she knows.
Thank God that guy's out of the picture. I can start doing stuff now.
Well, and she knows she's out of time, right? She's a person out of time, so she understands that she can't go out into the galaxy and affect things, because she has to wait until Ezra's gone and he pulls her out. Otherwise, she breaks. She creates a paradox. So I think she stays in that Sith temple, and when she feels Vader's gone, that's when she comes out of the woodwork, and that's when she comes and starts searching for Ezra.
Bro, can you highlight Weavin? Because
Yeah,
he's
I
a piece of shit.
I agree, bro.
No Force Ghost Anakin for Ahsoka.
Please.
I don't understand. I don't understand why people don't want that.
What did he say?
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What? Are you kidding me?
I don't want
Luke, Anakin, and Ahsoka sitting together. Can you pull him out of the stream?
Yeah.
Those three sitting together, the reconciliation that can occur between those three people. Now, Luke would be the one to basically bring Anakin back. Like, this is my father. We've been talking for a long time. And then Snips gets to see Anakin again. Real Anakin. Force Ghost, well, not real Anakin, Force Ghost Anakin. And they can reconcile, they can talk. Like, what? How was that not massively emotional, amazing, beautiful, some of the best Star Wars you've ever seen in your life? Answer me.
The Force theme is going to be playing in the background. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, pass. Thank you. Next. I don't
You know
think
what?
so.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I quit. I'm not doing Star Wars anymore.
They had it doesn't I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't give a fuck if you
That-
need it. It's
that-
what you're getting.
That moment on
Eat your
Malachor
vegetables.
was
You always
enough.
talk about meat and potatoes, but how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
What moment are you talking about?
The moment on Malachor when he says her name, right? Right then she knows, well, he's alive.
In Rebels.
But he's not. She doesn't know that he's redeemed.
I don't think she needs to. I really don't. I think
I
I think she moved past it once she realized that he went dark, right? Once she realized what he's done. I don't
think at this point she needs to, but obviously in her show it's not going to be all like butterflies and rainbows. It's going to be, she's going to have some struggles, and maybe she needs to be brought back by Anakin.
I
for whatever
think
reason.
her struggles were all in the past, right? I think the Ahsoka we have now isn't struggling with anything. She knows herself. She knows the Force. She is complete. She is, in fact, to me, the most complete Jedi we've seen. Definitely the one whose trials and tribulation we've seen more than anybody. I mean, even as much as Anakin, because we saw her grow up. So for me, I don't need that moment of clarity, because she's already had it. She's already moved past it. She accepted what happened. That's why she sacrificed herself, because she was willing to die with him, right? She wasn't trying to kill him after he said her name. From then on, it was all, I can't let you go, but I can't kill you either.
I don't think she needs training to see Force Ghost.
No.
He can just appear. I don't know how Force Ghosts work, but Yoda literally made lightning out of his Force Ghost. So,
Well, don't
Are
bring
we
that up.
really
X-Wing might have a
still
heart attack. Seriously, he'll literally like fall down dead. Yeah, I just
That's the thing that we now do.
Well, and I mean, aside from that, you see, the fact that
happy stream.
Luke can grab his lightsaber as a Force ghost, right? I mean, how far do you take it, right?
Oh yeah, that movie's not canon to me. That's the one that I disregard.
No, it's cool. Actually, I remember when like Luke just like force added another Star Wars right behind him. There was a whole nother movie that ran parallel to that.
And the thing about Ahsoka is it's not going to be out for another year and a half, especially now.
Something that I always wonder is, like, I do agree that Ahsoka is one of the most complete Jedi, and probably only rivaled by Luke. And if you think about the Luke that we saw in the season 2 finale, it wouldn't be that exciting of a show once you get past the fact that we're watching Luke Skywalker in live action if Luke got his own show, because he's so one with the Force and so sure of himself and so untouchable that what struggles could they really give Ahsoka? Because she's kind of the same way.
I don't want a Luke show.
I don't either. I'm just asking simply like for the Ahsoka show.
I don't think she has as much power as you.
Happy thoughts.
I don't think she has as many Force powers as you might think. I think she's, I mean, I hate to use this word, but she's so neutral in the Force, right? Because she's experienced the light and walked away, and she spent a lot of time in the dark without getting consumed. So where every other Jedi would have been consumed by the dark, she wasn't, right? Whether that's Morai's light inside of her keeping her in the light, but aside from that brief moment when the brother poisoned her, Ahsoka has always lived in the light. And so I think when she was on Malachor in that temple, I think she learned a lot about the dark without succumbing to it. I think she and Yoda are probably two of the only Jedi we could see live in such a dark place without going dark.
I would piggyback that and say that she experienced the light, but more importantly, she experienced the Jedi Order, and she saw how flawed it was, and then decided to live in the light as a true Jedi. Everybody calls her a gray Jedi. I don't think she's a gray Jedi.
I agree with you.
He's a Jedi.
I think she's the truest form of Jedi that we see. In all honesty, I think
Can you imagine Qui-Gon Jinn and Ahsoka?
Dude, you
That's
read
what I was gonna say.
like if she was trained by Qui-Gon, like, oh my god, bro, she would have been, I think, even better.
The fact that she turned out the way that she did when Anakin was her master is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
the fact that she wound up as okay as she did with like a psychopathic child murderer as your master. She did good. You did good, kid.
Well, and I think that's that goes to show, you know, especially with how Qui-Gon wanted to train Anakin. I think it shows a lot to Kenobi's training of Anakin that she turned out the way, you know, because you don't really, and this is going to sound crazy, but you don't really know how your apprentice is going to turn out until your apprentice masters somebody else, right? Is the teacher to somebody else. So you don't really get that. You don't really get to see how they truly came out. And I feel like that's a great interpretation of the teachings that Anakin, although he taught her to be reckless, you know, he even said that in the beginning, you know, you wouldn't have made it as Obi-Wan's apprentice, but you might make it as mine, right? Like that's big because Obi-Wan wouldn't have put up with her shit. The fact that he put up with Anakin's shit is beyond me, right? Like they were just too much like brothers.
Yeah.
Right. For him to constantly discipline him. And when your apprentice is showing like saving your ass every other day, it's hard to discipline him when he goes off book, right? Like, like how are you going to scold me when I just pulled your ass out of a Nessa Gundar? Like, what are you doing? Right. Like, so I feel like that Ahsoka is the product of Anakin's fantastic training, right? Like Anakin was an amazing Jedi. He was the best of them. And she even says that, like, if the best of us can be corrupted to the dark side, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. Right. And that's a lesson she watched firsthand.
It's because, I mean, it's kind of hard to not fall to the dark side because he's surrounded by corruption. Like there's no one around him that wasn't corrupted, really. So,
well, yeah,
set up to fail.
Well, and it's funny because, you know, I was talking about this the other day. I can't remember if it was with Arlena or X-Wing, but it was really when you know, Anakin was already distrustful and he already had his issues with the council not making him a master and always, you know, especially guys like Mace constantly belittling him, right? Constantly trying to find the chink in his armor, trying to knock him down a peg or two, right?
What?
And really what broke Anakin's soul is when Obi-Wan, his brother, his best friend, his mentor, asked him to betray the Chancellor. That's when you really saw Anakin change, because the council broke his heart, but when Obi-Wan asked him to do that, it really crushed his soul. And that's when Anakin became so much more susceptible to what Palpatine was doing.
Yeah, somebody said something that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, let's talk about this real quick. Best way to tell a story is with conflicted characters. That's why I worry, because yeah, she might not be as one with the Force as Luke or whatever, but she is pretty powerful, you know. And I mean, I guess you could. I mean, there's kind of two ways to tell a story. One way is with massive conflict, and the other way is with, you know,
Good storytelling.
a mission. Like they have to have some sort of purpose. And most of the time, the best stories are told with the mission to be getting out of the conflict. But sometimes there's just a mission, and she has a mission to go rescue Ezra. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's depth there already built in, just because going to find Ezra, the drama on whether Thrawn is manipulating Ezra, and we get to see that side of the coin.
I would love to see that, man.
There's a lot of and you know, I go back and forth with people on the whole Luke and Ahsoka thing. I think Ahsoka is so wise at this point in her evolution that, you know, although Luke is so overpowerful compared to anybody else in the galaxy right now, I still feel like there's you can't really, it's almost a stalemate of between knowledge and power, right? Because she has so much more knowledge than any Jedi right now. She's lived through the Clone Wars, she lived through the Empire, she lived on a Sith planet, you know, like she has got more depth in her pinky, right, than what Luke has been through yet. Luke has just happened to have been the celebrity of the galaxy, sort of. He blew up the first Death Star by himself, you know, like he's got this notoriety in the galaxy to where little slave kids are pretending to talk about him taking on an entire armada, right? So like he's such a legend, although he is excessively powerful, but he is such a legend that his legend precedes him, where nobody knows who the hell Ahsoka Tano is.
Because I was a legend.
You know? Yeah.
It was Jake Skywalker.
Hey, shout out to Jedi Master Stones. He says, "What's good, fellas? Good to see some of the EBN members on with Justin. Justin, glad to see you putting in work again. I appreciate that. But these are my members. I found them first. No, I'm just kidding. They were probably on EBN first.
Actually,
But,
I found you.
I wasn't.
You had like 2 subs, and then I started promoting you, and you like,
Oh,
look
yeah,
at that.
that's
Now
true.
you're at 11,000, man.
Yeah, X-Wing just pretty much made my channel what it is.
Sorry, bro. I did what I could.
I appreciate that, Jedi Master Stones. Thank you.
That's
Good to
hilarious.
see you, man.
So let's talk about Kathleen's contract now that X-Wing's here.
I mean, there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, like to be honest
Well,
with
so
you,
I saw some people in the chat that were like, "Did I miss it?" So I wasn't sure if, you know, he wasn't.
I
here
was
kind of
doing the
about it.
co-host with EBN, and Valiant pops in, just like one of the most well-spoken people I think I've ever had the pleasure of talking to. And he said it best, you know, no matter what, the power structure at Lucasfilm is not going to change.
No.
And that's kind of where I'm at. So regardless whether Kathleen Kennedy stays or she leaves or is replaced by somebody else, what we're getting now is what we're going to continue to get. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm almost of the school of thought that if she stays and give her a cookie, shut up and sit at your desk, here's a nice gold plaque, I'm happy. That's where
she's
I'm
not
at.
going anywhere.
Just do it. Just keep her there. I'm almost rooting for her to stay, just for her to shut up, go away. Here's your human diversity achievement award for 2022. Just that's
That's
it.
why I think it's a win-win, though, because I think if she does get fired, yeah, it might not change a whole lot, but it is a kind of a sign or a symbol that they're stepping into a new era of Star Wars. Or
They already
just
did
Lucasfilm.
Who's gonna take her? Who's gonna take her place?
I don't really give a like.
The
I don't
devil.
care.
Listen, dude. Sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you get. And
But what legend would want to take Kathleen Kennedy's spot? That's what like Kathleen Kennedy is a Hollywood legend.
doesn't matter. There's a lot of
Have
people
this
that
dog named Obi-Wan. He
that-
could totally take the spot and just
Listen,
do like a better job.
listen. I know you guys hate Kathleen. I know Justin hates Kathleen. I've seen every one of his
Have I not
videos
made my opinions clear?
over the past year. I know your opinion on her. So I'm gonna take the opposite side of this seesaw. She's not going anywhere. And it's really simple. And she shouldn't go anywhere. Right? Right now, Disney is making more money. Well, okay, aside from Pandy Times, right? Let's put an asterisk next to Pandy Times. But although is
You make that sound
responsible
fun, pandy times. That was a fun thing. Remember the pandy?
aside from the Last Jedi, right? Aside from the Last Jedi, and aside from the whole sequel trilogy that we know everybody has their huge problems with, we're going to put that on a shelf and put that over here and leave that stuff right there. And we're not going to talk about that. Let's just talk about her current job, right? Because after the sequels, she got a promotion to CEO, right? So let's talk about her current job title.
Seat warmer.
She is the CEO of this company, and her job is to report and to make sure the shareholders or the board of directors is happy. And the board of directors' job is to make sure that the shareholders are happy. And all of those people right now have been making money hand over fist since The Mandalorian came out. So since Mando came out, and although we all hate her, she was still CEO at the time this came out. So at the end of the day, all the praise goes up to the top, and to the board members and the shareholders, she's a golden goose right now. And so why would they take her out of pocket when they're about to have two of the largest years at Star Wars for like they're about to have two killer years? Why change her out now when they're making so much money? Because they don't care about the drama you and I care about with Story Group. They care about
the reason she's making money is because of John and Dave.
And
the reason that they're making them money is because she has shut her mouth.
No, the reason that your point money right now is because she appointed Dave Filoni executive director of Story.
The reason that they're making money is because she's distracted with Indiana Jones 5.
She was solely responsible for that hire.
No, but she is the CEO. At the end of the day, she is the one making the end decision. Yes, I understand there was no other decision, but at the end of the day, the boss is the boss, and she is the boss, and she made so she actually, as the coach, made the play that scored the touchdown that won the game. So at the end of the day, to the shareholders,
the coordinator was like, "Hey, dumbass,
doesn't matter who gets to shake hands at the end of the game, who's sitting in the locker room doing interviews, who's holding up the trophy. It's not the offensive coordinator, it's the coach.
I want to throw her from the walls of the
So really, there's no reason to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy because she's doing her job and she's letting Dave and John run Star Wars while she's sitting in her office doing more important things like making the next deals, right?
I don't think she wanted to be in that office. I think Chapek was like, go to your tower, sit down, stop making decisions.
She's made the Bobs billions of dollars, man. They put her in that position.
The reason why the Bobs have money is because they said nothing you do will go anywhere until it crosses my desk.
I think she's also lost the Bobs billions of dollars as well, potential billions of dollars.
I don't think so. You give a CEO reign to run a company, you let them run a company. You don't sit there and micromanage, especially when you're Bob.
How'd that go?
Especially when you're the Bobs, right? Like the Bobs put her in charge and she's done nothing but show them cash money. There's no reason to get rid of her. In fact, she's going to stay.
I think she's going to stay.
The reason that the contracts aren't signed is because they're probably negotiating for her to get more money.
That's what I said in my video today. I'm like, there's a reason why Indiana Jones 5 got delayed a long time. It could be just because it sucked. It could be because she's leaving, which I don't think it is. And I've been saying for a long time, I don't think she is. But there is something fishy going on. And then the third option is that she's holding out for a bigger contract.
Somebody would have scooped her up. If you think for a second that Netflix or one of these bigger companies would not take her and hire her in a second after she left Lucas.
Oh, Back Robot wants her.
They would take her. They would take her in a second because she's good at putting money on the table for the shareholders.
Is she? Yeah. I think I could work for a Disney studio and probably be good at putting money on the table for shareholders.
I don't know the ins and outs of the contracts the way she does. And that's what she's in charge of. She's in charge of making the deals on toys, right? So you guys want to talk about a Hasbro Star Wars box set, right? That's the woman. That's the woman that's going to make that happen. You want to talk about Star Wars monthly toy subscriptions and shit like that you and two nerds were talking about, that's the woman that's going to make that contract happen, right? Because she knows how to negotiate those $1 million deals.
Is that why Hasbro just released another Ray Saber that sold out? Oh wait, no, it didn't sell out. Sorry.
Hey, like I said, she's good at putting the dollars on the table.
You know what did sell out? The Stormtrooper Builder Pack in 5 minutes. You know what didn't sell out? The Ray Saber. In fact, let's go buy one. Because guess what?
Let's not.
3 weeks, more than that, almost a month and a half after it came out, guess what? You can still get one. You can still get one.
You know what really pissed me off? Whenever they had that Anakin saber that was welded together, whatever, by Rey, and they called it Rey's Saber in Galaxy's Edge. They were selling it as Rey's Saber.
Yes.
I think that's the most angry that Star Wars has ever gotten me, even including the sequel trilogy. Whenever I saw Rey's Saber on Anakin's Saber, I was like, all right.
I mean, you've heard the "you're pissing on me" without even having the courtesy to call it rain. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
I just bought one.
Good for you.
I just bought one. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, good. I'm excited.
I'm going to send it to you so you can piss on it all you want.
I'm going to leave it in my toilet bowl. I'm going to actually poop around the saber.
You can wipe up all the Poop Monster 4000s poop with it for all I care. I just want to see you use it and video all of it that you use it for. That's all.
You want videos of it?
Oh yeah. If you're going to do it, if you're going to burn it, video it. If you're going to poop on it. I want to see it. That's my only condition. I'll send it to you.
Anybody. Okay. I feel like something needs to be clarified. If anybody doesn't know, Obsession and I are friends. We've been friends for a long time. Okay. Woo.
Dude.
Okay.
Off topic, but I bought Disney stock right at the beginning of the pandemic, and that made me a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
I'm out of it now. I got out now.
I think I bought it at like, I'm trying to remember what it was in the dip. It was like 102 or something like that.
It was. I think it was under 100. I think it got under 100.
It might have been like 97 or something like that. I bought it. Yeah, I bought.
Just have Elon Musk say it sucks, and the stock will drop immediately.
Yeah,
dude, that guy having that much power is very dangerous.
It's amazing, dude.
Awesome.
He shits on a company, their stock dives that day.
I love it.
It's amazing.
It's scary to me, man, because I'm in a lot of crypto. He could just tweet one thing about any coin that I'm in, and then it's done.
One tweet. Shabby, whatever it was. He shit on that. It dropped.
Yeah, like 25%.
It was hilarious, dude. Elon, I love him.
All right, last thing about Kathleen Kennedy.
Does nothing but speak truth.
Who?
I'm just gonna say that. Felicity.
Oh, Felicity.
Poop
How much
belt.
money can be made when practically every Star Wars project she has been in charge of has had to dude, that is so true. Dude, it's compare it to Marvel with Kevin Feige.
Kevin, you can't compare Marvel and Star Wars
to any other studio.
When it comes, you can't compare Kevin Feige
what does her comment have to do with Marvel?
And what he's done with Marvel compared to Star Wars. You can't do that because there's been one captain of that ship.
I'm not talking about Feige,
right?
But he's had to hire different directors and writers for each project.
Right, but he's been in charge the whole time. That's the difference. He's had the final say. Like Feige's the main producer, right?
Okay, compare it to any other studio. I guarantee the ratio of hires to fires is not as high as Kathleen Kennedy's hires to fires.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, especially since she's been. Again, I don't put any of that on the table.
Look, here's the deal.
When
sound like Alex Jones.
When it comes to her new job, right? If you're talking about stuff during her tenure as in charge of story, fine. But you have to draw a line. You can't just put the entire amount of crap in one bag and talk about it, right? You have to talk about her job now since Dave took over, which includes all of Mandalorian, which includes everything that's on the table, right? You can't continue to put the sales and all of that from all of this stuff. Now that you want to go with the sequels, do it. But since she put Dave in charge, I guarantee toy sales are up. I guarantee those helmets behind you that weren't out before Dave took over, they're out and selling big, right? So there's a lot of stuff since she's been in the front office that has been good.
The fact that you're simping for the Crypt Keeper just
I'm talking business.
it's
You guys are talking about
scary.
her contract. It's
Here's the
business.
thing, though.
It's not friendship. She's not my friend. If she was in my face, I'd tell her she's an idiot.
I don't think there's any way that after what happened after the sequels and everything that Bob Iger and Chapek said, that she was the lead decision on what happened with stuff like this.
She was in charge of story to a point. And
She disappeared into the ether.
Motion. Bro, becoming a CEO of a company the size of Lucasfilms? Bro, come off the horse for a minute, get off the saddle, put your feet on the ground for a second, and realize that running a company the size of Lucasfilms takes a lot of time. She doesn't have time to put her face into the story group because she's busy dealing with other stuff. I'm not simping for her. I'm talking reality. This is business. It's not
the business that you're talking about. She's also bad at, like, especially with the hires and fires.
I think if you look at the movies that she's been a part of over her tenure, I would call it a pass versus fail.
The end result, but she's
been with the sequel trilogies.
What film?
Pass versus fail. Go to her IMDb.
The end results
what did
are
she do on
pass.
those films?
Doesn't matter. She's still titled. She still got paid. She still did her job. And
damn, I remember when I tied Harrison Ford's shoes on Indiana Jones. I'm the greatest there ever was.
I think that the end result. Okay, look, sports analogy. People hate when I do this.
Worked on a movie set, having never worked on a movie production. Those are bold words to say. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, what? So
I've worked on
this is from the horse's mouth that she basically ran coffee.
Okay, look. Okay, if we're let's just talk about her Star Wars accomplishments when she's been the head of Lucasfilm.
Okay.
Imagine like the Lakers have been sucking for 10 years. Obviously their merch is still going to sell because it's the Lakers, but if the GM sucks and they've been sucking for 10 years, the GM has to go, even though they're selling crazy amounts of merchandise because they're the Lakers, because they're Star Wars. It's going to sell, but the team still sucks. And that's on the GM. Like you have to be able to build a good team. Right now, it's good because we have LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Who was the CEO of Lucasfilms before her?
I don't know
exactly.
Mr. Sunshine on my damn
Because
shoulders, John Denver.
It was good. Everything was good.
It doesn't matter. Who was CEO during the time that Kathleen Kennedy was ruining Star Wars? It wasn't her.
What? Is she not currently the CEO?
No. Before she got her promotion. When she was still Kathleen Kennedy employee, not Kathleen Kennedy CEO, right? Who was in charge when there were mistakes before she was CEO? That's what I'm saying. Is like you're talking about the coaching and this and that. When did she take over exactly?
I couldn't tell you, but I know that ever since I've been disliking Star Wars, when I looked up who is the head of Lucasfilm, it's been Kathleen Kennedy.
Right. Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do? Like,
I agree, but at the same time, was she involved in the story group at that time, or was she CEO? That's what I'm saying. Where was her position during, let's say, Force Awakens? Was she CEO?
I don't know because I love The Force Awakens.
I actually do like The Force Awakens.
I absolutely adore The Force Awakens, but when I think about what happens,
I don't adore it.
It's just a new hope and a new cookie cutter. God.
I don't give a shit. Star Wars is like poetry.
For me, I don't hate any of the Star Wars movies. Like everybody else shits on this or that or the other. I don't. I like them all. I love them all.
I have a hot take. I don't hate The Last Jedi as much as I hate The Rise of Skywalker. I could watch The Last Jedi again.
With you, bro.
When I watch The Rise of
Skywalker more than I hate The Last Jedi.
So bad, dude. Because for me, the only like saving grace of the sequels was Kylo, and they ruined Kylo.
Did you guys know Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's when Rey is laying here and she's like,
"You will take the restraints off of my bunny.
Oh, that's
I leave your weapon in your room."
Dude, spot on impression.
That's hilarious.
That was dumb.
I didn't know that.
I'll tighten these restraints.
I'm just go through. That's him. I'll tighten these restraints.
Yeah. Scavenger scum.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy is listed as producer, not executive producer, not.
Bam! Tough
any of
Nerd
that
Toys hit it right on the nose.
Let's see whose story is. Action Matters Second Unit.
Way to be Tough Nerd.
Anyways,
I
Agree.
thought she was appointed
1000%.
president as soon as it was sold to Disney
I
by
thought.
George Lucas himself.
Let's see. I'm looking now. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, isn't she the president and not
President and
the CEO?
CEO.
Those are two
President and
very
CEO.
different
Different
positions, right?
Very different positions. That's what I'm saying.
X-Wing would make a great Ray.
As president, president, you have
Feel
different
it. I
responsibilities.
feel the force.
Just heavy breathing. And you just need somebody in the background screaming, "Right!"
I'll hit up Fatal J.
That would be a hilarious fan film, man.
Need it.
Oh my god.
Oof.
But I looked up.
Yeah,
I tried to look up everyone that Kathleen Kennedy has fired since she's been the president. But all I can find is this Quora entry where it says, "Why have so many directors been fired by Kathleen Kennedy in the Disney Star Wars franchise?" And the only things that they listed were like actual projects that came out. So like Solo and Rogue One, which were both like really troubled. But she hired Josh Trank for Boba Fett movie. He got fired, but that's probably partly because he did a bad Fantastic Four movie, a really bad one. And I don't know if that's the only reason, but that's probably a reason. And then they also had the Kenobi series that got scrapped, and it might have been a good decision because I saw some leaks for that, and it wasn't too exciting, in my opinion.
She's just a Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Just
Let's go, Kathleen.
let's go, Kathleen. Felicity again, dude. Doesn't matter what her position was. She sucks at everything except blackmail.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
The Goonies, Gremlins, Back to the Future, The Color Purple, Money Pit, Inner Space.
I mean, I've never said that she hasn't.
Who Framed
been
Roger
successful.
Rabbit?
I don't think says she like. I don't think any of that makes her fit to run a studio.
Curly
like Star Wars.
Sue, Hook. I mean, she's been producing movies since some of y'all were
Did you
alive.
hear what Spielberg said?
Yeah.
There is a direct quote from Steven Spielberg saying she does nothing but run coffee.
Yeah.
This
Well-
is somebody who has piggybacked on the back of greats for her entire career, was awarded a position. You know what? It's not that stream.
No, it is that stream. Go ahead. Let it all out. Get it out. Because I disagree. I trust me, I've been on sets. And this whole silly
My question would be, if she was that good, why did the sequels fail that badly?
she put the wrong people in charge. She was the wrong person to be
So
in charge.
then you're
I'm not
bad at
saying
your job.
I'm not saying that she is made the right choices when she got assigned to do the sequels and she decided who was doing what. But at the same time, I know the reputation of the woman, and I know the movies that she has been a part of. And without those movies, it's a sadder world, man. So yes, everybody fails.
And if
Everybody
she was
fails.
removed
And
from those
and
movies, would
she
it
got-
have suffered? Would
No.
it be any different?
would-
Let me
would-
ask you this.
I wasn't
Did she
there,
have
so
her
I cannot
fingers
say.
in the story group for Star
cannot-
Wars?
I cannot say because I was not there. What I'm telling you is the positions have changed. The pieces are in different places, and y'all are still complaining when they're giving you good content.
I'm
You're
not
still
complaining
complaining.
about the now content.
No, you're still
I'm
complaining
still
about
complaining
her.
about the shit
I am,
content that
because
they gave
there's-
us.
We're still gonna get the Acolyte because
You're still
That's
getting
never-
the content you
yes, that's
want.
never gonna
You're
happen.
still getting a Boba Fett show, and when I came out, it was supposed to be a movie.
Because
think-
she's been sidelined.
Again, a promotion is a different thing than
Somebody
sideline.
get Cameron Pasha in here. Somebody get Cameron Pasha.
Look, man, when you get promoted, you have different responsibilities, right? And it's not her responsibility to run story anymore. So you can hold her accountable for all the shit she did before, but at the end of the day, she's really doing her job and making the people money, right? It's simple.
Co-piloted by Appy Hollow and navigated by Geo, who appears to be a rock.
That's
Right.
Looking slate.
Rock.
Liar content.
The Rock.
I don't
And
blame Kathleen
and that's
for that.
and those
I blame
books are
her for enabling those people to do that.
no. Again, you wouldn't have the stuff you have now, right? Without those failures, right? Simple as that, bro. You wouldn't have Mandalorian. You wouldn't have Jon Favreau coming over without the troubles of her reign. So
I stopped. We're good now.
I think I've been fair giving her credit where she had credit. Like her IMDb page is undeniably one of the all-time great IMDb pages. There's no doubt, and she definitely did bring Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni together. But
I wouldn't put her on that. I'd put that on Dave and George doing voice stuff to get him in the room and them building a friendship.
It's well documented, though.
You know,
it's well documented that she brought them together at a meeting at her house. And that's what they all use against me whenever I say there's a civil war. But so I know I've seen the screenshot a billion times.
I'm going to put it to you this way. Let me put it to you and Obsession this way.
Hold on, let me get my thinking face on. Hold on.
I'm Kathleen Kennedy. I don't make good content, but I'm friends with people like Justin. I'm friends with Echo Base Network. I'm friends with people who make a lot of really good content.
Come on, man.
And so people are like, oh yeah, X-Wing. Oh man, he makes good stuff, right? Nah, he makes shit, but he's friends with people who make really
Shut up, dude.
That is how Kathleen Kennedy made her success.
Right, because if that were the case, I would have 900.
Finally got put in the spot of Star Wars theory, and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's good. Right? Yeah, it's good. It's good, right? And everybody's like, yeah, oh yeah, it's good. And anybody who doesn't is like, oh, well, you're just a shitty person because you don't like it. That is Kathleen Kennedy's tenure at Lucasfilm.
Wow, I just felt like I was watching a playground of 5-year-olds explain something. That was awful. That was the worst analogy ever. By that standard, I should have 900 subscribers right along you writing your
nailed
code.
it on the head right there. You nailed it on the head, X-Wing.
No,
see? The public speaks.
She messed up. Right? She brought two big guns in to make Star Wars movies that really shouldn't have been making Star Wars movies. Let's start there. Right? She messed up. Yes. But without those failures, again, you don't have Mandalorian. You don't have what is now Kenobi. You don't have the story group landing on their face, ruining new stories instead of ruining stuff that's important like now. So I'll take it on the chin with all of that crap that you guys don't like that they put out to save what's coming now. 100%.
I don't think that she is the one that's like, I don't think that we need Kathleen Kennedy around to get what we're about to get. But I mean, I guess we just agree to disagree because I don't think that I don't think that she can do anything positive.
Bring in somebody else that wants to micromanage Star Wars. She learned her lesson. You do the contracts, you do the big office stuff, you keep the shareholders happy and do your job. And let Dave and John continue to make you look good, right? That's her job. And she's doing her job. She's not putting her hands in the story group. She's finding
doesn't look good to us.
Well, she looks good right now because she's letting John and Dave, if the players on the field are John and Dave and she's the coach, she's looking real hot right now, especially to the shareholders.
And who pays the shareholders?
You're telling me that Mandalorian and the stuff that's coming isn't going to make them money?
No, looks great to the fans, right? That stuff does. She does not.
Well, but again, they don't care about what you and I like. They care about who's putting dollars and cents on the table. And she is, because she has learned her lesson with I'm going to call it two boof movies because some of y'all like Last Jedi and some of you only like don't like The Rise of Skywalker. So I'm gonna put those two on the table for you guys.
Some people don't like it.
Since you both like Force Awakens, right? I'm gonna put those two on the block. So she learned. Oh, I'll put Solo up there too. I'll do all three, just because a lot of people hate Solo also. So we'll do those three. It took her 3 strikes to figure out to go hang out and do the big boss stuff and let Dave and John take over. So I'll take those 3 whacks and those 3 shitty content, according to most people. Again, I don't hate any of it. And to secure what's going on right now with Dave and John and making sure that Pablo and Kathleen are not involved in story group, I'll take it.
But we don't know that though. We got Mandalorian season 1, Mandalorian season 2, Clone Wars season 7, and that's it. We don't know. Like, we have this huge slate that is supposed to be so good, but it could be so bad. We have no idea. I don't think it will be, but it very well could be.
It's about to get a lot worse.
Why?
It's about to get a lot worse.
Well, also, real quick, before you tell me why, but there has been some good stuff with John and Dave, but Star Wars has released a lot of other stuff that has failed miserably that John and Dave didn't touch, like the High Republic.
The High Republic is amazing.
A lot of people like it, dude. I haven't gotten into it, but a lot of people are reading it. A lot of people
dude, like 4 or 5 people that I know in the fandom are like super into it.
Hey, not everybody that is here on YouTube and your Discord is the fandom.
But listen,
You're right. I'm part of like 19 different communities with thousands of people.
Right.
You're right.
You're saying that people like it, but you just like we're talking about the dollars. Like, we're talking about how much money that's bringing in. Not, you said it doesn't matter. They don't care if the fans like it. They care if it brings in money. I guarantee the High Republic's not bringing in that much money, especially in comparison to the Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Even if we like. So
if one product is bad, the other product doesn't compensate to save to make money for the company.
I'm saying that it's not Kathleen Kennedy's reason. Kathleen Kennedy isn't the reason, because she's the overarching head of all of this, and there's only one group of people that's able to make successful content, and it's not the entirety of Star Wars that's successful now.
When
because
was
Kathleen
High
learned her
Republic
lesson.
released? Again, I keep going back. I keep going back to the same thing with different arguments. When did Dave Filoni take over as executive story group? Right? When did that handoff happen? Because that's a big deal about everything we're talking about.
I think it was like a year ago, and
it was announced. It was announced 6 months ago. It was announced 6 months ago.
It was announced 6 months ago, but it went into effect the year before that.
It went into effect the year before. So it's been almost 2 years, because it happened in January is when the announcement was. I thought it was like January, February. So you're talking about let's just call it 18 months. Was High Republic already released before 18 months ago? I want to say yes.
It was released in 2019. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
at the end of
so that was
2019.
already in production way before Dave took over. That's what I'm saying.
So was The Mandalorian, though.
The Mandalorian was in production, but it was starting production, right? It was in story. It was beginning to shoot. But if you're putting out books, how long does it take to release a book? It takes a long time to release a book.
But what about the Clone Wars then?
Animation. I mean, I consider that a different department than live action, because they're in a completely different.
Can I throw one comment up just to defend the homie real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Loud and Proud says, Mr. Obsession keeps talking about money. Yeah, that's what you have to do to keep creating content. You have to be able to make money.
Yeah.
And so if you make a piece of Star Wars content that appeases the core fan base but makes no money, then they're not
going to get any more content.
But if you make a piece of content that appeases a large part of big part of the crowd, but it makes a lot of money, like bam, there you go. So this is this kind of balance that Star Wars has to figure out. You have to make your core fan base happy. You have to draw in new people. But my big issue is that they're not appeasing the core fan base, and they're trying to draw in this big new crowd, and it's not drawing in the big new crowd. It's not bringing it in, and it's pissing off the core fan base.
Yeah, because Star Wars doesn't have the mass appeal, or like not. I guess mass appeal is the wrong word, but the entry to Star Wars isn't as simple and easy as it is for stuff like Marvel.
It's not the 70s, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you need good content to make the money, but the thing is, Star Wars
is hard.
They only made $4 billion on the sequels.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right? So
you don't
guys
need
want to shit on them.
Sales were, that does not include any of the shit that happened when it came to advertising, any of that. So
again, $4 billion. on the
Not
sequel.
profit though.
It may have produced 4 billion. It
3.
didn't profit.
Call
4
it 3 if you really want to soak up $1 billion in bullshit. Call it
Yeah.
$3 billion for this, for $1 billion for each movie.
Shenanigans. No
Right,
way.
that's what. Okay, listen.
It's still making money that's paying for the content you guys are excited about now, right? Like you gotta talk about the dollars and cents of what they're doing.
The meat and potatoes.
Not
They could have
every
gave us an hour and a half of literally just sand blowing on Tatooine and slapped Star Wars Episode 7 on it, and it would have made money. Everyone just left. Okay, never mind. We're good.
I'm here. How am I seeing?
I was like,
No, like I said, I feel like if we're talking about Kathleen and you're not talking about what her job is, that's an important piece. So if you talk about how the High Republic started, when it started, they started writing and creating that content. It was probably 2017, right? 2018, if you're being generous, for a 19 release. So that content was already being created before the handoff with Dave Filoni happened. Everything that's happened pretty much since Dave Filoni got that baton has been making them money. And Kathleen has been letting John and Dave create, hire directors, hire Ming, hire Bryce Dallas Howard, hire all of these amazing Rob Rodriguez, hiring all these amazing directors. She's just she could say no.
Yeah, but my thing is like
to do it.
I think she's doing a great job at that. Like, let John and Dave do their own thing.
Yeah, and that's what
she is doing a good job. But who knows how long it's going to last? Like, she could decide tomorrow, you know what? I need more credit. I need to be more involved in this, and then come back.
Again, that's got to be cleared by the board. She's in a different position now. She's not just the president and CEO, with her hands involved in the cookie jar. She probably got told by management, hey, we need you to focus on this and this and this and let these guys do their thing, right?
Yeah, hopefully
we need everybody to be on the same page. We can't allow another 3 movies to get made that are controversial to one another, right? Like, these are conversations that happen with the executive board members and her, because even though those movies made the shareholders money, right? And that's her job, they're still her learning her lesson and saying, look, I have to let these guys do their work and they'll continue to make me look good. And the next 2 years, and her contract is only going to probably be another 3-year contract, if that.
I don't think it's going to be 3 years.
It's probably going to be a 2-year contract, because you don't change an executive of her place in the hierarchy right before you're about to start releasing all of this amazing content. You don't want another CEO coming in and trying to put their own flavor into the spice, right? You don't want them adding to the mixture. You got to keep her in the same spot, because at least until the end of all of this content release.
Yeah. Everyone's talking in the chat now about the sequels making money and how much money it did end up making. The bottom line is it did end up making money. It did obviously make a profit.
It could have made so much more.
Yeah, and I think that The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 proved that to probably the Disney higher ups and the shareholders. And they're probably like, something went extremely wrong with those movies because they didn't break every single record that ever existed at the box office, because they should have.
They should have
100%.
Well, dude, and Steven nails it. Steven Yarnell. I'm somebody who I buy.
Well, actually, the second one made the most.
Actually, you can see behind me, I buy a lot of Star Wars stuff, and I'm part of Friday sales and everything. I can tell you right now, sequel stuff doesn't sell, and I can tell you, I'm in all the Facebook groups when it comes to selling toys, which is everything when it comes to Star Wars. The reason that it's so popular and why it makes as much money as it does is because of the toy sales. The sequel stuff doesn't sell. I saw a post today. There was a Kylo Ren Black Series helmet that should be valued at least $500 if it were a Mandalorian, re-release. It was $120. They're like, I just want it gone. The baton from the scene from The Force Awakens, the power baton when he yells, "Traitor!"
Yeah.
It's $100. It's a Black Series collectible you can't buy anymore. It's $100. They're like, can I just get rid of this stuff?
Yeah. Let me read the super chat real quick.
These are also hard times. So I also put it a lot on that. I don't think a lot of people.
You stop reaching.
It's not reaching. It's real. I have a bunch of shit back here that's secondhand because people are going belly up and it's available. Like I'm being real. I hate to. I'm sorry. You think I'm reaching for the stars? I'm living in the world, man. I'm sorry you don't agree with it, but that's fact. Look. I fucking $200 toys, right? I'm totally living in the world we're living in right now. And there's a lot of people that are selling shit that they normally wouldn't to pay for stuff.
I'm not going to blame the pandy on bad toy sales. In
I'm
fact,
not-
actually, toy sales for all of the sequel stuff, I'm sorry, not sequel, prequel and OT stuff is way up. It's way up right now.
Also, not to make this political or anything, but I don't really think it's the pandy's fault that the economy is the way it is. But let's move on to the super chat. John
right.
Favreau, Dave
Let's go,
Filoni,
Brandon.
we're the one. Let's go, Brandon. Indeed, we're the ones who breathed life back into Star Wars. Plain and simple. Kathleen Kennedy would have had Care Bear swing Twinkies. I can't even. This super chat looks so weird on my screen for some reason. I can't
would
read.
have had Care Bears swinging Twinkies with her twisted agenda in tow.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother conversation. I really don't feel like talking about it right now, but
I don't think I get the reference.
Me neither, but
Kathleen Kennedy would have had Care Bears swinging Twinkies with her twisted agenda. I love it. I just don't think I understand it.
I think it's I don't know. I don't want to say what I think it is in case it's not. But when it comes to the agenda talk, I don't think that she did herself any favors when she wears like the Forces female shirt and all that stuff. Because people, I didn't even believe it back then.
She did.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I didn't even believe it back then. When
misgender the Force.
Did you just assume? Oh man, never mind.
Don't assume my gender, bro.
Yeah, back when the sequels were coming out, I didn't even believe. I was like, "What are you talking about? Agendas being pushed in this stuff? There's no agenda being pushed." But then, I don't know, man. I'm just
staring at Obsession because I know he's loading up the canon. I'm so excited.
I got nothing to say.
No, come on.
It bores me.
What, dude? I want to hear it.
No, you really don't.
I do. We do.
I think I do. All right, Mac.
The fun part is everybody's like, "Oh, they're arguing." I'm like, "No, this is the home."
No,
if you really, I mean, this goes back to Dave Filoni's feminizing Star Wars. So, I mean, let's just
we can not talk about that part.
Let's just start there, right? Because everything in Star Wars is about social justice now. About oh my God, there's another female lead in something. God, oh my God, Ahsoka's coming. Cover your eyes and put your earmuffs on. There's going to be another female lead. Come on. This is that same old shit. And that's cool. Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy are feminizing Star Wars and making it, no dicks allowed. So let's just keep on the train.
But I'm like, are people actually mad that Ahsoka is going to be a lead?
I mean, why not? It's another female lead in Star Wars, right? It's another. I mean, that's how the fandom is now. Everybody wants to shit on the female leads, regardless of where they are and how awesome they are. So,
I don't think
no.
It's okay.
I don't buy into that at all.
Yeah,
I don't buy into that at all.
There are people out there that do that for sure.
A Leia lead. I think people would have. Oh, hold on. Is he going to put on the Achuta? Oh, damn it! I thought it was good. Oh, he had the Achuta on.
I had that one on.
Yeah, I think that's shenanigans. Like, no, the fandom isn't upset that there's a female lead. That is like the most base, crappy argument that there is. We want good female leads. So Ahsoka, bam, great, awesome, good female lead.
Now, it's just like Hayden. It's just like all of this. Everybody, Ahsoka's great now that she's been around for 10 years, now that she's popular, now that she's coming out with her own show and we saw her on Mandalorian, now she's great. Right? But for the first 4 seasons, she was shit on, right? For the first 4 seasons, nobody liked her and nobody wanted her around. And oh my God, get rid of this kid, get rid of this shit. But yet she becomes the best character in pretty much the most recent Star Wars. So, I mean, it's nice to shit on characters now until they get their fair run. It's just like Hayden at the beginning of this. Hayden was the worst Vader ever. Oh, well, yeah, except 20 years later, he's the best, right? It takes time for some of these things to pan out the way you want them to.
It's tough for me to bite on some of these because, like, I never hated any of them in the beginning, and so it's hard for
Yeah, me
me to be
neither.
like, you know,
I didn't even hate Ray. I mean, I did.
I don't dislike Ray as a character. There's a lot
I
of hate
actually,
for her.
so I loved Ray in the first like 15 minutes, and then I hated her. as
I
soon
just
as
feel
she
indifferent.
when she flew the Falcon through like the Star Destroyer, I'm
Oh,
like,
I thought that was so cool, man.
yeah, it was
Like,
super cool, and I'm like, you don't know how to do that.
yeah, but at that moment when I'm watching it, I'm like, she doesn't know how to do that. But you know, Anakin as a little kid blew up the little
Right.
blockade thing.
Okay.
Whatever that thing was called.
So that's my thought. I'm like, damn, she's strong in the Force.
Yeah,
But then everything else came,
yeah.
and it was
You're
too
nobody.
much.
You're nobody, and then you're Palpatine, and then they and whatever. I'm not it. Whatever. Not doing it. Not doing it.
I'm not going.
See, and what's really going to chap your guys' asses is when all of this buttons up and all of this stuff is great, and you're cheering Star Wars, and they connect everything to the sequels, and then you're going to be shitting on it. So, like I said,
I don't give a shit.
everything
Well-
that's great is great when it's great until it's not great, and everything is not great when it's not great until it's great. So,
I think there could be a way where this boy.
the same thing, man. It's the same thing. It's
put
great
an
until
axe
somebody
in the
ruins
wall,
it.
or you could put one in your face, and I'm trying not to hit the axe hit my
I
face.
mean, I've hit my axe in the face all day, every day. So it really just hit yourself in the face. If it comes to that, it comes to that.
You know, it's tough. I just, I don't want the sequels to be a thing solely because of how Luke was treated. If Luke was treated differently, the sequels would have been great.
Have you ever listened to any?
Or I could have dealt with the sequels if Luke was better.
Have you ever listened to any like long symphony music, like acts on acts on?
Oh,
acts?
I don't know. I graduated from a university as a professional cellist.
Great.
So no, not really familiar with.
Right. So then you know that sometimes it takes time to build stories. Sometimes the first act isn't the best. Sometimes the second act isn't the best. Sometimes there's holes in it somewhere. But it's a symphony right now. It's still being written. It's not complete. That's the great thing about the prequels and the OT trilogy, right? Even the sequels, if you really, I mean, I feel like this timeline isn't done being written yet. Right. So the prequels were their own big thing, and that was written. And we can sit here and analyze it and listen to it and watch it over and over again. And the same thing with the OT. You can sit here and go, oh, was that Rex? Oh, well, they said it was Rex. Oh, that doesn't look with Rex. That's not Rex, right? We can go back and we can look at it over and over and over again. This stuff isn't being done it isn't done being written yet.
You're right.
So to sit here and say
no plan. They had no plan.
Now. You've never taken a project over that somebody messed up. I've done it with a couple of cars where somebody just foobarred the whole thing. And you're like, man, I'm going to have to start over and really dive into this and redo the whole thing. That's what Dave and John and George are doing right now. I know that George doesn't want to help fix something he hates, but he's going to because it's still his baby.
Was it Dale Earnhardt's car?
Could be.
Was it a car that is one of the most significant and important cars in the history of the freaking, like,
I get it.
I think that the sequels and the prequels both had problems, and they were both very different problems. Like the prequels had a story already in George Lucas's head since he wrote the originals. He already knew what the overarching story would be. Obviously, probably smaller characters changed here and there, and he had struggles with writing the dialogue, and he had characters like Jar Jar Binks in there that people weren't fans of and still aren't.
Could have been awesome.
And then the sequels come out and they have cool characters like Kylo Ren and Rey, and there's no story. Like the backstory changes for each movie for those characters. And
well, and that's on the studio for giving Rian Johnson a movie. Honestly, I would have rather them waited for JJ, let him do the trilogy and call it a day.
Rian
give it to one of them.
said outright, I don't care if half the people hate it.
Yeah.
I'm successful if half the people make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
watch
I
it.
mean,
Like
he's
it.
one of those like film purists. Like he's very self-obsessed. I can
Did you
tell.
say a
Well,
film terrorist?
And
Purist.
Oh, purist.
but I'll go with on Star Wars. In Star Wars, he's a terrorist. I'll call it like I see him. I think
Suicide bomber.
I think his version was awful. I think he is replace his movie with a JJ vision, and I think it's a totally different song we're singing. But the fact that number one, the story group didn't put Rey and Kylo on the board and go, okay, this is what they're gonna be.
Yeah.
They messed up huge, and I blame that on the story group also. It's not just on Ryan, it's also on Pablo, because he was a big part of story back then.
Justin,
right?
can we grab one more comment here?
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is important here. Scott R.
Scott R.
Obsession.
You're not in charge of
constantly
this
makes
stream.
excuses. That's not.
That's fine. I make excuses.
It's a discussion.
no.
Everybody's making points.
I'm
what I'm
always
saying.
the opposite side of the seesaw. It doesn't bother me. I'm not making excuses. Look up the information for yourself.
It's
I'm
not
literally-
that. This is the stuff that pisses me off. So I have one opinion. You have another opinion. We talk back and forth. These are called talking points. Discourse between humans is the point of what we do.
I think
man.
it's just unfortunate because whatever, like, each channel has their own opinions, and obviously the fan base and the community will grow around that
Don't you
person's
want to talk
opinions.
about this shit though?
Yeah, I love talking about it, but I think that people don't understand that we're friends like outside of the streams, and that like us disagreeing on Star Wars.
I have a
Super
completely
rapey.
different
Yeah, that guy
perspective.
is super weird. He's so weird. He scares me.
What that?
No, you.
Oh, yeah, I'm super weird, bro. If
You
I
as
was,
a person.
I wouldn't be here if I was normal. Here, you want weird? That's weird. Yeah, look, I don't mind being the voice of opposition. It doesn't bother me. I am just literally have a different point of view, having working in this industry and seeing how things are done, and knowing people on these sets and knowing how some of this stuff works. It's
and that's the other thing too.
it's a
to you
person. It's
little shitheads in the chat who are like, "Oh, yeah, fuck obsession."
I mean, fuck me, please, fuck me. Just go subscribe to my
Hey,
channel.
no, I'm.
Hey, I do just want to say I wanted to work in Hollywood. Like, that was my dream. I wanted to be a director, and I think I kind of fucked
bad
it now.
dream.
But,
Bro,
yeah, I don't
bro.
want anything to do with it. I worked on a one TV set as a PA. Maybe I think it might have been 2 as a PA, and then COVID hit, and then I just started trashing Hollywood once I realized everything that was
That
going on.
PA, like public assoole, or
Yeah,
Production
that-
assistant.
that
Oh, okay.
nailed it.
you got
Yeah,
close.
I mean, look, it's I and this goes to the dark times of what I feel is coming, right? I really hope everybody is in a good state of mind. I really hope everybody's happy with the content they've gotten so far, because I think y'all are in for a little bit of a rude awakening pretty soon. And I don't think that the current
What's a rude awakening?
the current stuff in the media is going to greatly affect Star Wars in the next coming year. So
I mean, we're gonna have like masks, like Anakin's gonna be wearing a mask or something, or like.
I think
I guess he does wear a
Anakin
mask.
wears a mask. Are you?
That was a
kidding
bad
me?
character. That was a bad character. To
Ray's donning the mask.
he's gonna be double masking. Though.
No, I mean, unfortunately, with the the unfortunate incidents on Alec Baldwin's set, and the union stuff that's still in the news and is still on the forefront, a lot of I've been
Save
keeping
it
my
for
ear to the
good.
ground, and it's coming.
By the way, with the Alec Baldwin stuff, anyone who's making jokes about it, that kind of like rubs me the wrong way. I'll be honest. Like, even though whatever you think about Alec Baldwin, he's kind of a lunatic, but it doesn't really matter, man.
I'm
You're
so
joking about death.
Oh, kinda.
I am so sad for Alec Baldwin. Like, I am
horrible,
truly,
man.
I am truly, truly, truly bummed out, because I absolutely love the match game, and I don't think he's going to be doing match game anymore.
Fuck out, Baldwin.
And it really, really bums me out.
I don't care how much I hate someone. I would never wish something like that to happen to them, and
Well,
I wouldn't
yeah,
joke about it either.
I feel it, but like, okay,
I
I'm
feel
gonna
really,
save that for tomorrow.
I feel really bad for the dude. I really do. And I think unfortunately, that whole roller coaster is really going to affect what's coming for the rest of this year. Not this year so much, but for what's on.
Why
the
would that affect anything? I think that would just make them ramp up the safety a bit more.
Because the
He's dumb.
the six the union that camera union was in already had beef on that set before this whole thing happened, and this has just made it worse. So anybody that was kind of on the fence about it, I've heard a lot of people are like, yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about.
It was like a really low budget production. I heard that the crew was treated like horribly.
It's not a low budget production, but they were treated
horribly. They took away their lodging.
I meant low budget in terms of like what they're giving the crew. Like,
yeah, so that's what a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's not publicized, so to speak. But basically, I'll pull something up for you guys after the stream if you want. But basically, at one point they had lodging closer to the set, and they took that away, and so everybody was having to drive their full duration at the end of the day. And I think that kind of stuff, you know, lack of sleep, short turnarounds, those kind of things make on a weary soul. And it doesn't help that there were a lot of people on set that were previously reprimanded for poor gun safety on set. So that's also another part of it. The assistant director had already been reprimanded and fired off a set for poor gun safety. So that stuff is going to ripple down because there is a vote coming, and it's not looking good.
Well, the thing is, I don't know, man. The weapons master definitely messed up, but as someone who has like a good amount of experience with guns,
you see her?
Oh yeah, she shouldn't be.
I wouldn't hand her a fucking cap gun.
Yeah, I don't think that she's ever seen a gun in real life before that production. But if you've ever dealt with guns before, which Alec Baldwin has dealt with at least prop guns before, he's done a lot of stuff with prop guns before. You got to check it, man. You got to check it yourself. I would never. I don't know if that's my OCD kicking in, but I would never pull that trigger without opening. I assume it's a revolver.
Safety when it comes to guns. Do you know why? Because they can kill people.
Yeah, especially if you're pointing it at someone and then pulling the trigger, man. Check it first.
But to be completely fair with you, I have yelled at my fiance. I have been firm and unkind with my fiance when we've been out shooting. Now, she is an experienced weapon user. She used to work at a gun range. She shot an M249 saw, cute little ponytail bouncing in the wind as she's shooting off, 1,000 rounds a minute. They are life takers. Yeah. They're weapons. And if you are a range master, weapons master, armor, whatever you want to call it, you have to be responsible for everything that happens on that set.
Well,
somebody picks up your gun and says, cold gun. You say, bet you fucking thought. Put it back down on the table and check the rounds.
Hawks, saying he's never heard of a live ammo on a set. That's not true.
Because
that was illegal. I thought that was outlawed to have live ammo on Hollywood sets.
Doing target practice with the guns. They were shooting the revolvers.
I'm pretty sure that was made illegal after Bruce Lee's son died from it.
I did 5.
So is Pod.
I did 5 seasons of a gun reality show, and every day was live ammo. So
that's not Hollywood. Is it?
That's just it was in Santa Clarita. It was right there. Yeah, absolutely, it was. That's absolutely Hollywood.
Look, if it's something like that, I'm sure they could find a way around it.
No, man.
The least gun-friendly area in the world, Obsession was doing a gun show.
Yeah, I did live rounds every day, not an incident. Right? That dude had not one incident. That dude had, and this was several years. This was like 2 or 3 years worth of this show. We did it every summer for 2 or 3 years, or twice a year for 2 or 3 years. And that armorer didn't let anybody touch his weapons except the contestants that were. And when it was hot, everybody knew what was what. And that was the end of it. I mean, I was 3 feet away from 50 cal shoulder bolt action rifles getting shot down range. Literally, my heart is stopping because the concussion is so
You're
it's so
cute.
oh dude, it was so rad. And I've shot them myself, but on set, not one incident, right? And this is with moving targets to where we have to stop down because the machines that are moving the targets didn't work, and he's got to make the gun safe, and he's got to take them away. And this is Hollywood, man. This is real money involved shit with insurance policies that are billions of dollars, right? And this is something that should never have happened. And
it was sabotage. Somebody did it on purpose.
No, I can't see anybody.
Oh my
that's
God, Justin.
That's a little far.
No, somebody did that on purpose.
No.
Look, I heard, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm not going to say for a fact, but the person that was the cinematographer that died is working on a documentary. Hopefully this doesn't, if I disappear, you know why. It's working on a documentary about pedophilia in Hollywood.
Come on, man. Come on. That's a bridge too far. Yeah, and even if she was.
That doesn't happen on accident. Why would they have live rounds on that set?
Bro, there's live rounds on all kinds of stuff. You don't know what kind of slow motion stuff they were doing.
Don't ever go into the desert with me. Ever.
Dude, I shoot guns all the time. I'm just saying, why on a set where you're going to be aiming weapons at people, why even have live rounds?
They weren't, number one, they weren't aiming at people.
How did she got shot?
So here, okay. So here's some context real quick. 4 people left that set the morning of. So 4 people the night before decided we're not happy with what's going on. We're leaving. And they brought in some other people. But the reason that person was behind the camera to begin with is because her qualified crew left. And left her and the director. Do you think directors sit behind cameras on every shot? Do you think the DP sits? I've seen more DPs that sit in their village in a tent looking at big screen monitors than with their face in the eyepiece for most shots, right? So for me, those people were behind the camera. Her and the director were behind the camera when normally they wouldn't be, right?
Regardless, there being a gun is pointed at them,
right? And more so, if a gun was being in that direction, they would be behind the camera line in their tent watching on the big monitors, right? So those 2 people were behind cameras because their qualified crew had left because of poor gun safety, because of poor safety on set, amongst other things. And if he was doing a cold gun shoot and they were just trying to get some close-ups of this and that, then being behind the camera made sense, right? They weren't supposed to be shooting live ammo, because if they were going to be shooting live ammo, the camera people would have been behind the line and the cameras would have been rolling, right? So there wasn't supposed to be live ammo at that moment in the day. There was only supposed to be a cold gun hitting these shots.
So whose fault is that?
I don't know. I wasn't there, but I mean, ultimately, the AD.
Why the fuck is there a live pistol?
It's sabotage, man. That's the only reason. That's the only logical reasoning.
So you're saying that the armor and the AD were in on this with Alec Baldwin to kill this girl for Hollywood pedophilia documentary that won't get.
I don't know what the reason is. I just said that she's working on a Hollywood pedophilia documentary, and this has to be sabotage, because there's no way that person got hired and she's that stupid. There's no way.
I'm saying there is a 24-year-old girl who was not paying attention because she was too busy on fucking social media, was not paying attention to where the guns were. There was a live gun next to a cold gun. Some idiot picks up the gun, doesn't check the chamber, and says cold gun. Baldwin, being a dipshit, doesn't check the chamber, pulls the trigger, and kills somebody. That's how
technically with that style of gun, the blanks don't fit.
It's a 6 gun.
The blanks don't fit on Hollywood prop
check the breech and see that there's a lead boat sitting in the front of that charge.
The guns they use on set,
I don't care what anybody says.
Ammunition.
I don't care what anybody does. I don't care who you are.
Okay, you were there.
Pick up a gun.
You work on Hollywood sets as an armorer.
I pick up a gun constant. One of my
so do I. There's one right here, dude. I got one on my table. I'm with
himself in the fucking foot. One
Like,
of
I'm with
my
you.
good friends picked up a semi-automatic pistol and shot himself in the
Bro,
foot.
one of my
because
friends
he
is
was
missing
being
a
a
pinky
dummy.
because he grabbed the wrong gun when cleaning his weapons. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I'm extra safe with my weapons. The guys that I know, the guy I know cleaning 2 identical weapons, picks up one, cleans it, clears it, puts it down, takes a phone call, picks up the other gun like it was cleared and cleaned, and shot his fucking pinky off. I am with you on gun safety.
Yeah,
Huge
check
in a
the
huge
breach
way.
every
But I've
single
also
time.
been on
There
sets
is
with
no
guns
excuse.
with prop guns with prop guns that only take blanks. You can't fit regular rounds in a Hollywood prop gun, is what I'm telling you. They only fit blanks. That's how they were designed. So he had the wrong weapons on set to begin with.
And the blanks are red too. Isn't the casing red? It's not
I-
brass. It's
I
red.
think
They sometimes have a red like circle on them or a black circle on
Yeah.
them. It's
No,
very
I'm
easy to
saying the
tell.
casing itself, the shell is actually like red. It's not brass. It's red.
On the set that I worked on, they
They were the
didn't have
same.
any blanks,
Yeah.
but they showed us like demonstrations, and they had like a red circle around them.
Well, the blanks that I saw just had they had a
They're almost
different
like
tip.
poly.
Yeah, it
They're
just
like a
had a
red
different tip, but it
poly.
was the same shell casing, the one that I
Okay, so
saw.
this dude picked up a gun. Now, I will say in Alex's defense, somebody said cold gun. Okay.
Yeah, Daryl's
Don't point a fucking gun at somebody without
it's not.
checking what's in it.
Yeah,
This is what's I'm pretty sure this is okay. This is a demonstration that I don't have super like crazy amounts of experience, but when the demonstration was showed to me, the armor is supposed to walk up to the actor who she's about to hand the gun to, or he, and
Yes.
open the chamber and show the blanks, and the actor is supposed to
Yes.
confirm that there are blanks in the chamber.
Yes.
If that didn't happen, that person belongs in jail.
Yes. Well, and that's just it. Technically, the armorers should be handing weapons, not the AD. And this is not the first time that this person has done that. This is
Why
not.
the fuck did they have the gun in their hand?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This isn't the first time this person has
Sorry for
been
the cuss.
on a set and been reprimanded for bad safety with weapon. Like, this isn't the AD's first time with this. It's been documented, and he's been fired off of sets with weapons because of his poor gun safety. So
And
the real,
especially, why were there live rounds on the set at all?
again, I don't know if they were expecting to do a scene with some slow motion cameras.
What kind of scene?
Well,
What kind
okay.
of scene do you need a live round for in a
Some-
Hollywood movie?
Some of the again, I am not. I don't know what happened on set. All I know is when we have shot high speed, super slow mo stuff, they've used live rounds. Of course, everything I did was live rounds to show a specific frame of shot as the bullet is exiting the barrel, right, at a very slow speed.
And so you would have one of
you would set your cameras
on the other side of
you
that
would set your
shot.
cameras on the other side of the set, protect your lenses from any debris or any gunpowder, any of that, and then push record on those and fall back behind the line. That's how you deal with live ammunition on set. You set the cameras, you push record, you walk away behind the gun line. Of course, safety lines are safety lines. You shoot your shot, you clear the gun, you call the set cold, and then you go adjust cameras and do it again. That's how you use live ammunition.
This was not that situation.
This was not that situation because they were expecting a cold gun on set. They were not expecting, especially the camera people, were not expecting a hot gun on set. So really, the AD, the person that grabbed the weapon, the armorer ultimately to start with, because that person should have had their hand on the hot weapon.
Hand on the hot. There shouldn't have been a fucking
If
hot
there was a
weapon
hot weapon on the set, that armorer should only have their hand on it. That's what I'm saying. That
We gotta
person,
wait for more info. I saw something earlier today that said Alec Baldwin could be facing prison time. And
You don't need any more
civil.
info.
Civil.
You need
charges.
no more info.
Yeah,
There was a
civil
hot
charges
gun
is
on set.
guaranteed.
Somebody picked it up and fucking shot somebody.
He
That's
won't
all
face,
the info you need.
He won't face criminal charges. He'll face civil charges, if anything.
Yeah, manslaughter.
I think
don't even
think civil is guaranteed.
I think there'll be a civil suit, but I don't think that he'll do any kind of time. It wasn't his. Yes, it was his hand that pulled the trigger, but there's a lot of steps in that chain that led to that. And
Yeah.
people
keep saying like blame this person, blame this person, blame this person. if you are in charge of weapons for a day, you need to be in charge of those weapons for the day. The fact that a 6-gun with a live round made it to a table that an actor could even touch. Not only that, an actor picked up a gun, somebody said it was cold, and then took a shot. That's what we get for hiring a 24-year-old purple hair girl who's like, women empowerment. I am 100% super good at my job. Well, guess what? Somebody died on your watch.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's
So, maybe tone down the diversity hires and hire somebody who knows what they're doing.
I think that I don't think that's a diversity hire. I think that's money.
No, you don't think so?
No, I don't. I think it's money.
Tattoo girl with an OnlyFans and purple hair.
I think if she costs less than somebody else and they're trying to manage a line, the same reason they hired that dipshit AD.
There's a reason she costs less.
That she costs less, and so did the AD. So really, I mean, I'm with you, but I'm not calling that a diversity hire.
And now somebody's fucking dead. I'm good on you for saving money.
I'm saying it's not a diversity hire. I'm saying if anything, it's a dollars and cents hire. It's a you were cheaper. We're gonna hire you.
Twitter hire.
No, it's not. It's not a Twitter hire. It's a you were cheaper. I couldn't pay for somebody.
You don't think a veteran who has years of experience with weapons would have done a better job?
Great. Yeah. And I guarantee they called them and said, we can't afford you. I get told that on a regular basis. Oh, you can't do it for less? No, this is how much I leave the house for. That's it.
Hawks Holocron says, I don't think this has anything to do with her age, hair color. Look, if there's one thing I learned while being on YouTube, it's never trust a girl with blue hair, ever.
I learned that my first month on YouTube.
I
do you remember, Justin?
Yeah, I do.
I don't trust anybody with purple hair, bro.
Oh man. Old scars.
Yeah,
man. It's unfortunate, and some poor girl's gone, unfortunately. And I'll be looking for her documentary right alongside the Clinton email papers and Trump's tax returns with all the stuff we're never going to see.
If anything, I just hope this shit never happens again.
Me too.
Yeah. I just want people to stop making jokes about it, honestly. It pisses me off when I see jokes.
Oh,
about
no, I'm super down for the jokes. Are you kidding me?
Somebody
if I got
died.
shot on set, fuck yeah. That'd be so funny.
Well, Daryl,
give Alex a combat action ribbon. Hell, he took more bodies than half the Marines that trained from 2012 to 2008. That shit's so funny.
It's not too funny to the girl's family, I don't think.
Yeah, but I would want that.
And wasn't that
if I died, it's a different story, but that's not me. I think we should show some respect.
Yeah.
And that's why I have the mindset that I do, is because literally that could be me. Right? That I've been on those sets. I've been on unsafe condition sets where they're telling you, oh, it's okay to do this. Go ahead. It's okay. So really, I feel this on another note, because it could be fine. I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna die. He's like, it'll be funny though. I mean, it's
I guarantee nobody around you, including me and Obsession, wouldn't think it was funny if you died. And I wouldn't appreciate anyone making jokes about it.
Not unless it was on TikTok and you literally it was something funny, you got dragged by your own van, or something really dumb. Then I'd laugh, but I'd be super pissed if people were like,
let it be known now, if I die,
he got what he deserved. I'll tell you what, that guy, he was welding where he shouldn't have been welding. He got what he deserved. I would never put up with that shit.
Look, it's different.
That wasn't funny though. What you just said wasn't funny.
Exactly, and this isn't funny either.
Like Loud and Proud said, comedy is a part of life. We have to make gallows of humor to get through life. The thing is, me and you aren't struggling to get through our daily lives because Alec Baldwin shot someone that we never knew. I think that we can just show them the decency of just show them some respect and show some class, man. It's just
rather
classless.
That armor fucking drug through the street right now.
Well, and she's gonna have her day in court. Believe it. And those people are probably not going to work. I mean, look what happened to the producers and stuff that when that girl got killed, Sarah, on the train tracks. Those people kept their DGA cards, right? So it's a crazy
Well,
fickle
and she's
world,
gonna
man.
make the argument like, it was a mistake. Well, you got hired to be an armorer, and
Yeah,
somebody
I mean,
died on your watch.
yeah,
So I have no
and
sympathy.
those
No
people are
sympathy.
gonna have to live with that for the rest of their lives, right? All three of the people, unfortunately, in this are gonna have to live with that for the rest of their lives. And I know that I would feel pretty shitty if I was in any of those positions, but I'm not. I don't handle weapons that frivolously. I'm very, very, very careful with my
No,
weapons. And
that's me too. Even when
so
somebody
so
hands
I
me a gun,
don't
I shoot
so
constantly, dude. But somebody hands me a gun, check breech,
yeah,
make
I
sure
mean,
everything's good,
literally,
shoot
yeah.
fire when I'm done. I'm not gonna flag somebody, and
And
it's
you're
like,
not
oh
pointing them
well,
at people.
huh?
I said, and you're not pointing them at people. That's like rule number one. Don't
No,
point them
don't
at someone.
flag anybody. Flagging is
Right,
pointing
but this
guns
wasn't
at
this
people.
wasn't flagging.
Don't flag anybody.
This was set up. This was a set up scene. This wasn't us going out and playing in the desert. This was a set up scene that everybody thought was safe. And the unfortunate part is it wasn't safe because people didn't do their diligence. So it was supposed to be a safe setting to point a gun at a camera, and it wasn't. And at the end of the day, this is just as like Daryl said, this is just unfortunate circumstances.
This is
And
what I told you in the DMs. It is 100% her fault.
again,
She needs to
agree.
be held accountable.
But at the same time, there were several hands involved in this, and it wasn't just she didn't walk up and pull the trigger. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of unfortunate circumstance that happened, and I worry. I worry because I think this is this is going to change things a little bit for the good, but there's a lot of people that feel that that this is, I don't know what it is.
Felicity came through with another good one.
I agree, but this is just like a personal thing. For whatever reason, when it comes to death, I don't like joking about death. I think it's because I've been through like some traumatic stuff in my life, and I
damn,
wouldn't.
you must be the only one.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it is about me then, because I don't like people joking about death. If you joke about anything else, I really don't care. But joking about someone's death, or especially something like this that's so tragic, it's not cool to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're going to take that stance, Justin, you got to also take that stance when you're talking about oh damn, I just had a good point. It just slipped right out of my stupid head.
Dave Chappelle.
So I just walked through the catacombs of Paris like a week ago. There are 6 million dead people in the catacombs. 6 million.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there. Nowhere near.
Human beings. I walked like 200 feet below ground and saw a lot of dead bones.
I remember what it was. Sorry to cut you off. if you're gonna say I don't want to joke about death, then at the same time we can't put this. Oh man, how do I put this? You can't. If we're not gonna joke about death, then we can't. I don't even know anymore. I give up.
All right, back to the catacombs.
I gave you the platform. I'm like, you know this.
Back to the piles and piles of bones that X-Wing was walking through.
Yeah, you have to confront your mortality there. When you see all that death.
It's not about me though. It's about their mortality.
I'm the same as you. I'm like, I don't like thinking about death. I don't want to see that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about death. I want to think about life. And then I came back to my hometown, and my first call back in town, I was working on a walk-in cooler, and I hear bam, scared me. I'm like, what the hell was that? It was a gunshot. I'm like, why was there a gunshot? I'm working in like a cow. This cow falls in through like a chute, and it's spurting blood out of its forehead, and then they like pick him up by the ankles, and they slit its throat as it's like screaming like there's like blood pouring out of its throat. I got real upset. I got upset. I was like, damn, dude, I just had like the most amazing vacation I've ever had in my life. And I come back to America and there's just like blood pouring out of this cow, screaming, a lot of pain, stuff like that. You have to confront your mortality. You have to. We're
The
gonna
thing is with
die.
me, it's not
Justin,
about the death.
You're gonna be a bunch of bones.
I understand that it's not my death. It's someone else's death. And we can joke about my death when the time comes, but when it's someone else's death, they might not appreciate it. And whatever, call me intolerant if you want. But if you're tolerant of everything, that means you stand for nothing. And for whatever reason, this is the line I draw.
I'm
Joke about any-
intolerant of someone else's death. I stand for nothing.
if you're tolerant of people joking about someone else's death. If you're
Oh.
I said if you're tolerant of everything, you stand for nothing. It doesn't you can choose what you're tolerant of, but if you're tolerant of everything, then you don't stand for anything.
Well, and you know, joking about her death is one thing, but at the same time, calling it a setup, I feel like is on the equal playing field, right? Like
It's not a joke though.
to speculate something that treacherous, right? I feel like that's on the same level as humor about it, right? If you're not going to be okay with joking about it, you can't really, speculate on something that serious, right? Because that's some serious shit. That's some treachery right there of the utmost importance. Like that's pretty hard.
I think regardless of the reason, there was treachery involved, whether that's
Especially- and then-
negligence or
And then putting that in the same sentence with she was making a pedophile documentary, right? Like I feel like that's on the same line with making a joke out of it, right? Like you can't put those same words in a sentence and then say, well, you can't joke about her being dead. Hold on.
I'm being 100 like Hawks Holocron said, I'm being 100% serious. Like those are facts about the situation.
But that's not I really don't I see negligence, I don't see maliciousness. I see large amounts of
It's
negligence.
malicious negligence at the best though.
But it wasn't malicious. The girl didn't go, here's a loaded gun, go call this cold. Right? The AD didn't go, hey, I got a live round. I'm gonna put it in there and hand it to him. Ha ha ha. Right? Like I feel like those are along the same lines as joking about a dead woman.
Well, I disagree. I don't know. I'm just speculating about the situation. I'm not trying to like if I was joking about a conspiracy theory about the situation, that'd be different. But since I'm really proposing that could be it's likely to me that something was done on purpose because I can't see anyone being this stupid that
I can. There are a lot of stupid people.
I can't.
There's lots.
Maybe I'm just imagining in my head handing someone a weapon and like
not checking the breech.
I can't even imagine that being a situation.
But I felt the same way about Brandon Lee, right? I can't see not checking the barrel before handing somebody a weapon, right? Like that's just me. Like I've dealt with guns since I was younger, right? Since I was 18. That's a good 22 years now. And I check my weapon every time I pick it up. I don't care what weapon it is. And I look, once it's cleared, I check the barrel to make sure there's nothing in there, right? Like
Marlena makes a good point, dude. Like if you have a weapon, you check.
Yeah.
If it goes to somebody else's hand, you check.
Why would you trust someone else with something like that?
And honestly, that was that girl's negligence by not doing her diligence and walking up to him with the weapon and showing him that
posting on fucking Instagram
at the same time.
Oh yeah. Go look.
Like I said, Arlena, if it's a situation that you're in and you have to joke about it to get through, that's different. We're not having to joke about this to get through our daily lives. We're simply doing
she's
it
a Marine, so
it's like we're just doing it because people hate Alec Baldwin. We're trying to like pile on Alec Baldwin. Like I think we should stop.
I think Alec is unfortunately the and as an actor on set, I think he did what you do. He's been on the set of Mission Impossible where he's handled weapons. Well, but at the same time, he's also been on sets like Mission Impossible where he's been handed weapons, and he has to trust that the armor
live rounds.
Regardless, he has to trust that the armorer is giving him a weapon that is clean and clear and not going to hurt anybody. He, as an actor, has been on set many times and knows that, or puts trust and faith in the production that they are going to give him somebody that is competent. And in this instance, unfortunately, I feel like she didn't do her job, and it's unfortunate because somebody lost their life because of it. But I don't put it on him.
I'm glad that you feel that way, but she didn't do her job.
She didn't do her job.
Somebody died.
She didn't do her job. I said that. I said she didn't do her job. But Alec, it's not Alec's job to check the weapon.
No,
it's not his job. And he's been on many a set with weapons, and he trusts the armor on those sets to make sure that he didn't hurt anybody. He did the same thing here. And those pictures of him in the desert, to me, look like he was throwing up.
And
I don't think that he was happy about it.
Oh no, the first words out of his mouth were, "Who handed me a fucking hot gun?"
Seriously?
Seriously, I got I'm like I said, I'm going to send you guys some stuff on this just for your own reading. But there was a crew member did a full write up on it, and the second the shot got fired, the first thing that he said was, "Who the fuck handed me a hot gun?"
I would have asked, "Is she okay?" But
I mean, as soon as it went off, that's the first thing that came out of his mind, because he knows the difference between live fire and blank fire. So, I mean, he literally knew the second he pulled the trigger what had happened. And the reading that I don't even want to put it up in the stream because it's so graphic. But if you guys want to read it, I'll send it to you guys personally. But it was the description of the person that held her as she passed or while she was bleeding. So it's really heavy. And, I feel for these people, and I want good content to come out, but not at the extent of people's lives. If this happened on a Star Wars show, it'd have been disastrous, for us.
Yeah. But yeah. Glenn says the butt of any joke is going to be offended. But the thing is, man, the butt of this joke is either a deceased woman or someone who just killed the deceased woman who's probably traumatized. Like, let's assume, like, let's just hypothetically say your best friend accidentally shot someone. Would you be making jokes in a group message with your friends about that friend shooting someone? Or if your friend was the one that got shot, would you be making jokes? I don't think so. I think that you would probably take the situation seriously, show some respect, and probably compassion. I know it's a little different because he's not your friend, but I don't think it's always the route to take. I think sometimes comedy is not the route. Sometimes respect and class is the route.
Comedy is the only route.
I agree. I mean, look, I watched the Chappelle thing several times, and I feel my way about it, and everybody feels their way about it. But at the end of the day, comedy is comedy, and that's a comedy setting. This was unfortunate because it's supposed to be a safe space. That's the big thing I have with it. Is like X-Wing said, gun safety. If you're a gun person, gun safety is a big thing to you. And for me, I feel the worst because I know how diligent I am with my weapons. I would hope a professional that does this for a living would be 5 to 10 times more diligent than I am. And so that's the only thing I can say. I feel for all these people because all these people are going to have to live with some really shitty dreams for a while.
Wait, so that is honestly mind blowing to me. Like, what if someone's parent committed suicide? Would you go joke to the child about their parent's suicide? Because it's like, where's the line, man? Like, where is the line? That is some dark stuff.
One of my best friends, Steven, blew his brains out last year. It was tough. But he was one of the funniest guys I've ever known in my life. He was so funny. And I think he would be happy being like, "Oh, you dumbass.
Yeah.
You misfired. Damn, you blew your brains out, dipshit."
I don't know, man. That's
hard to explain.
I kind of agree with Loud and Proud. Everybody's got their line, and me personally, I try to respect the line of others and not so much myself. So for me, if there's a line and I can't cross that line, I don't. Just out of respect for the people around me, not so much because of my line, because it's really hard to cross my lines. It's really hard to offend me. I'm just not that kind of Generation Xer, let's call me. I'm just not that kind of sensitive, right? Like for me, it's really difficult to offend me. We may disagree, but to truly offend me, it takes a lot. And you know, these kind of things don't offend me. I just want everybody to remember that, you know, it would suck if it was a bank robbery. It sucks that it happened where you should be safe. That's the only thing that really bums me out. If we were putting ourselves in a, you know, in a compromising situation like X-Wing does on a daily basis, getting on lifts and working with high voltage, you know, it's a different story. When you put yourself in these extreme circumstances, but when you should feel safe at your work environment, that's the part that really bugs me, is that I put myself in compromising situations for work a lot. I know X-Wing does as well, because his is very high risk, high height and electricity and all that fun shit that's really dangerous. But we kind of sign on for a little bit of that. This was an unsuspecting person that got shot, really out of nowhere to her. You know, I'm sure her last words were, or last thoughts were, of her family, but how the fuck did I get shot at work? You know, like, I'm sure that's
shot and killed on your fucking job.
You know, and that's the part that bothers me, is like, you do you know, however you want to get through it. But for me, this one is like, I just feel it, because I feel like safe environments
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary tragedy, unnecessary. And I think that's what we can all agree on, is that this was a very unnecessary tragedy. And I hope that Hollywood and Bollywood and Dubai and all of the major production capitals of the world learn something from this as well. And not a joke. Dubai is becoming a really big production hub of the world. So I really hope that all the other, you know, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Indian, and the Middle Eastern production companies, as well as the American production companies, really pay attention and keep everybody safe, because we want more great content, not just ours, but all of it. So I would hate for this to happen on a Marvel set where they're, you know, Samuel L. Jackson is, you know, get out of my face, mother, huh? And then boom, you know, I'd hate for that to happen.
Yeah.
So really, I just, you know, everybody be safe and take care of each other, as far as I'm concerned on that note. I feel like that's the lesson here.
I think the problem that I have isn't really like just the joking in general of death. I think it's more because it just seems like everyone's trying, like, because everyone hates Alec Baldwin. Like, it seems like they're just trying to pile on him, and it's out of anger. It's not out of trying to cope with this random woman that we've never heard of's death. Like, no one's trying to cope with that.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, but it's like,
I don't really have an opinion about Alec. Either way, I've never followed him. I know he's got a hot ass daughter. That's all I've ever seen, is that, but that's it. Flexing like that. He getting it. Where's your armbands and armor? Hey, how's your R2 coming? Let's change the subject.
we had to go, man. It's been like 2.5 hours, but you can answer this question real quick.
I gotta know, is your R2 coming along?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. He's out.
Piling on is acceptable because she has blue hair. That's my
Let's
takeaway.
go, Brayden.
Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Did you say Braden first?
Yeah,
Did you say mom first?
I did.
That's awesome. Well, let's get out of here.
X-Wing, when are you gonna join the 501st?
He's got a 5.
I don't
Oh, you're not a member of the 501st yet?
No, I haven't. I'd like to.
Oh,
You
bro.
should, dude.
You'd be perfect for it. They'd love you.
You could probably show them all your Mandalorian helmets, and they'll probably let you be a Mandalorian extra.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to bed.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming in the chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you, X-Wing.
Might be that way.
Oh, well, there he goes.
All right, we're gonna close it out with this. X-Wing's mustache is sus.
Sus as fuck.
Is that your Paris mustache?
All right,
Is
all right.
that what you brought back from Le Paris?
Ew, what? What?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Dave. Weavin? I always forget how to pronounce it.
Weavin.
Webbin.
Damn it.
Weavin.
Webbin.
Wait.
Webbin. Web. Weave.
Weavin.
All right. Person with a W. Thank you, Glenn. Oh, shit. Steven, thank you for the super chat. For Emu Frost.
Yay, Steven, you're
Thank
the
you, Steven.
best.
Steven's always in here supporting. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, it was fun, man. I like these discussions. Didn't expect it, but it was fun. Appreciate everybody.
Whenever
playing.
me and X-Wing are in the
Wild ass
room,
stream.
it's always bound to go awry.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We love to chat. It's not
Yeah. It's the
it's
homie.
all love. It's nothing personal. It's all
People are like, you hate each other. I'm like, nah,
All right, settled.
this is
It's
the
settled.
fun.
nah.
Weave
It's all
in.
love.
Weave in.
Hearts.
I'll try not to
Weave,
forget. It's weaving.
Ben.
All right. Appreciate everybody for coming. Thank y'all.